What are they doing here? Oh yeah, that's right. It's Master Chief shows off his Master Chiefs. Oh man.
So unnecessary. I don't know why. It's like, we're mature, we're age. It's like, yes, you didn't need this. And again, it's like,
well, you said it.
What is she? She's looking at something very intently.
She found the one muscle in their bodies they didn't augment. and then.
Oh, it's so small.
Oh, I think it's cute. And he's like, "How you guys look like that size?" Like, no, Chief, I didn't mean it like that. Oh man.
At this point, it's riding yourself.
The oven's really tight. It's cold in here. Oh man.
Oh, he's just embarrassed now. Oh, he's shy.
Welcome back to the watch. Okay, Halo fake fic. Halo fake fic. This is worse than a fanfic.
It's hate fiction, yeah.
Well, I was saying fake, but you say hate fic.
Hate fiction.
Hate fic.
This is a writer who hates it.
He despises Halo and so wants to change things to just
episode 3.
Fans. Yeah.
I didn't even get to the episode 3. Were you looking so pissed?
They don't just hate the story, but they hate any principle related to why the story was good.
I am stunned about this episode. Literally, and I'm not kidding. When I this is a correct use of literally. Halo fake fic episode 3. John literally discovers his feelings. The episode, and that's it.
Yeah.
When you hear Halo, you think about man discovers his feelings as like a concept in the show.
Do you want to know? And this, you'll realise I'm right when you're like, yeah, you're right, Oz. Do you know how he discovers his feeling? He listens to his inner woman.
That's also quite literally. That is literally correct. Wow. So, I'm not even gonna call this character Master Chief anymore because it's simply not. He's just generic John person who's been brainwashed and is discovering his feelings, and our show at the moment is a journey about him just reconnecting with himself.
Do you think, because we saw him naked, do you think we should call him Aster Cheeks or Master Cheeks?
Master
Cheeks, I feel it works.
I think Aster, because...
Yeah, but Master Cheeks implies butt.
Okay. Yeah. We got to see his bare behind, because that's also what every Halo fan wanted to see.
I'm sure there are a few out there.
Yeah,
Dude,
I know there's some, obviously, yeah.
There's even people who make drawings of the aliens.
Obviously, Oz, but
I
don't think that's why I came to watch
I'm not
the show.
saying, yeah, exactly. That's definitely what everyone. I was saying sarcastically because obviously most people don't want that. You're looking so dead inside. I feel for you, because I know what that feels like.
Yeah, I know how it feels like being on your end. It's hilarious to be on your end. Much less fun where I'm sitting.
Oh gosh. So this episode, all right, I think we're beyond the point of people caring about spoilers, and we'll just go into the discussion because, you know, if you're watching us, you probably don't care. And so, broad thoughts on the episode before we will go into a more chronological kind of discussion is, yeah, literally, this is an episode where Master Chief discovers his feelings. We get a lot of scenes about characters and plot lines that mean spit and we don't care about. For instance, we're still seeing the what's her name? I don't even know her name. That's how.
What
the Asian girl, the
Quan.
Quan.
Oh,
Quan.
yeah.
So we don't care about Quan, and she's a contradictory mess where instead of having the most logical reaction to seeing her friends, her father, butchered and slaughtered in front of her eyes, literally in front of her eyes, by a violent, aggressive, alien invading race. Genocidal race. She does not give a stuff about, oh, the fate of humanity is at stake. Instead, person I don't like is now getting in control of the planet that is probably going to be destroyed by the aliens anyway. But I want to liberate Madrigal, my home world, and doesn't give a stuff that the aliens are probably just going to glass it anyway. So dumb.
Dude, so this is how intense the hatred is for the Covenant, right? They value Forerunner artifacts like it's worth more than solid gold. Like it's the most valuable thing that they have, right? They hate humans so much.
Now, just for context, Oz is talking about the game lore.
Yeah, the game lore. This is game lore, right? They hate humans so much that if it comes down to having to destroy Forerunner technology and kill humans, it's pretty 50-50. Like, they will, if they found out that there was a human colony on a planet, didn't matter if there was 20 or 1 billion or 2 billion, they will go there with all of their forces and glass it until there's nothing left. They literally nuke, they slowly, like a lawnmower, except it's a nuclear beam of fire that converts everything into radioactive glass. They do that to every single human world they find. They kill every single human being they find. Because the staff that they have, this little luminary which tracks Forerunner technology, says that thing invalidates your entire political system, belief system, and the people who are in power, who like keeping their power, it invalidates their whole purpose.
But we got to see one of those staffs in this episode.
Yeah,
and so now it's a chosen one finder.
Yeah.
And it doesn't invalidate their existence or religion or, power structure or anything. It's, chosen one, we will take you and use you to our own ends.
Yeah, and in the game, its lore, it's not a staff, it's on their ship, it's a big machine.
So the desecration to the Halo lore just continues. The desecration to Master Chief's character is just so much that it's not his character anymore. It's just like random guy named John who needs to learn about his feelings, and that's it. And then another thing that I noticed in this episode is that there's a lot of just pointless crap, like the whole thing with Quan. We don't care. And it's pointless to the overall plot, but we know why they're doing it. She wants to get back to Madrigal, because that's where the Stockholm Syndrome Covenant girl is going to go. But, there's a scene with her, right? And that entire scene is utterly pointless.
Which one?
In terms of the plot, right?
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't achieve anything. She doesn't find what she's looking for. And she's like, all right, we'll just go back to the planet where the artifact was and look for it there.
I do know what they're going to take from it, because we saw it in the trailer, where they're listening to something that's decrypted from the Covenant, and they hear the word sacred ring. And it was said by an elite, and they were talking to an elite, and he said sacred ring, and they were listening and decrypting it.
Well, they could have given that information to those characters in many different ways, instead of devoting a whole scene, which not only doesn't achieve anything, and look, they're trying to say, look how badass she is.
Yeah.
And then she's got worms that summon her command, but those worms contradict how they're supposed to function from...
Again, why do they have armor? If they can...
So... There's a boss type in Halo that heavy enemy, right? And there are worms that squiggle into armor to be able to take the form, to be able to hold it up, and then they're a boss. And when you kill it, to my understanding, the worms just
no, they just stay dead.
They just stay dead. Okay.
To kill it, you got to put a lot of damage.
But basically, in the show now, we get to see those worms, and they are insanely deadly by themselves. They don't need armor. Like why would you ever put them in armor now? Because they are insanely strong.
And they can take any shape, fit into any crevice, and they'd be better at dodging weapons, because they can.
They literally can just crawl over people and snap them in half.
Yeah.
That's insanely useful. And they were swarmed by numbers that they couldn't shoot them all. And so by them squiggling into armor now and having a very convenient, singular location for people to aim at, you have a much higher chance of destroying them all. So why would they ever adopt the Halo game, enemy type, now that they've been shown to be so insanely strong just as worms?
Again, Shad, imagine this. You're a warrior, and you can take any shape you want to fight your enemy. And you can spread yourself to any dimensions in a space. You would be literally unstoppable. You wouldn't make yourself into a single being.
Yeah. Why would you? Exactly.
Why would you?
Why would you?
Anyway.
And all of that is they could have introduced this enemy type more consistently, more accurate to the lore. Don't wait, and they would have wasted so much money on all the CGI and CGI for a pointless thing that achieves nothing in the plot. And
343 already gave us a way of how they could do that, right? The way the elites discovered them and fought, hey, these guys are good fighters, is because they were a primitive thing. They're worms, right? They can't build anything. Do you know what they did? They held themselves together with massive rocks and fought like that. So, like, oh man. And they could have done that by having, like, the worms use pieces of ship, you know, as armor. That would have been cool. But no, it's like, no, they're just nondescript worms, you know, blanket flood that comes over and kills everything.
But you know what? I reckon despite us saying that they're more powerful without armor, they're still going to be, at the end, big battle. They're going to become big brute
and
monsters.
now,
they're still going to, like, do that despite us saying, well, you don't need armor now because it doesn't make any point.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they've already shown them so tough without the armor. We're gonna, when we see them in armor, my only thought now is going to be, why don't you just do the whole swarm thing and snap people in half like you did before?
You seem like you do it at will.
Exactly. Like, these should be, to justify the need to go in the armor, should be actually far more useless outside the armor. When they try and crawl over people just pick it up, throw them off, and everything. They need the armor to justify the boss type. Now, and they have a blank contradiction that they've set up because they don't understand the lore. This is just another sign.
And also, they said, there's barely any life signs detected on that ship, so they can't detect the life signs of the worms, and they were in armor at the time. So why not just keep them in the armor that has a gun on it and a massive shield?
Yeah. We're kind of getting into specific things, so I'll try and go back to my broader observations. Cortana is introduced as a 3D hologram now. The actual implementation is so contrary to, like, the games. They do this... I don't know what they're trying to do. So this is actually a consistent theme so far, in not only in this episode, but the show, where they're trying to show the humans be very morally objectionable or grey, doing weird... ethically questionable things consistently, to the point where this is clear. This is an intentional decision by the creators, where they execute Quan for no good reason, and all this stuff. But in this episode, they will literally grow a human clone that has independent body, and then
perfectly conscious, and
then copy the consciousness, but murder and acid and literally disintegrate the body and all this weird stuff.
Liquefy your brain while you're still conscious. And they said it'll hurt. What? So she needs to be awake, okay, but you can't do anything about the pain. You can paralyze their body.
Yeah, it's like, is this gonna hurt? Yeah, but we're not gonna do anything about that.
We can give you something that'll affect your nervous system.
Yeah, and
nothing for pain.
We'll make a creepy assistant guy that wants to basically... He's a rapist, but essentially. He was ready to just kiss her, this clone thing. And again, all this ethically weird stuff, because is it a clone? Does it have independence? Could you just make a clone body and do your thing with it and all that bull crap?
Yeah.
Like, this is all weird crap that doesn't make... Like, it moves it so far from the initial feeling of what Halo is to make this... Why? It's just needlessly edgy crap, right?
They've literally made something different. So why do they need the name and the art style or the
like this is so not Halo, and this stuff just it doesn't enhance the show, because sometimes it's really cool to have ethically questionable things if you're actually going to explore it and have like a discussion and then have a good morality cover. That's what Star Trek did. In this show, they're just weird ethically, like sometimes just gross stuff that they're not going to explore. They just throw in for the sake of being edgy, and all it does is make us hate the organization, hate these characters. It's like,
and the show.
What the freaking hell is going on? And so it's not the only one. So you got the creepy rapey guy who wants to kiss Cortana when she's paralyzed and everything, but Halsey whatever walked in and he stopped himself. But he's this weird creep. Then you have like the friend guy saying he's gonna crush her skull, Quan's skull, whatever.
And then I'm going to get money out of you one way or another.
But promise to John that I'll protect you and keep you safe.
And then they have the torturing of the Cortana clone and the like acid disintegrating the body thing. And all of this was so needless because they're like, okay, it might be an interesting creative idea to have the fact that to create a true, like, next level artificial intelligence, you have to let it kind of gestate in a human brain, because there's a human brain is capable of creating a consciousness.
Like,
so
record the reactions.
That's an interesting idea, right? But they don't need they don't need all this edgy, ethically questionable crap to explore that idea.
Yeah.
But also, it wasn't needed, because Halo wasn't about questioning all the different kind of ethical quandaries of science fiction possible technology. It was about fighting a friggin' alien invasion. Yeah. And so they're injecting all this dumb, like, stuff that they're not exploring, and that's what makes it dumb, right? And it's so needless because it's so, just create the AI like they did in the games. They wrote the program, and it had a digital projection. Done!
In Halo 1, the story is very simple. It's, we got to stop the aliens, stop the ring, stop the flood, that, right? In Halo 2, it gets much more complicated. The not for, like, the humans, their theme, their storytelling stays basically the same, right? But we literally, half the game, you play as an elite.
Oh, really?
And he has an incredible story arc where he questions his faith and doctrine.
Really?
And finds that he's being lied to by his religious leaders.
Well, that would be cool.
And it's incredible.
Why don't they have, like, a character like that? But that would be really hard to follow, because they're having all the elite language in another language.
Yeah,
and
not in the game.
In the game, they're all got voice.
I've literally got the thing. Can I quickly show you, like, 2 minutes?
All right, could we pause? Because I want to end off, because I was talking about a concept of their throwing in the ethical, because it isn't just with the Cortana stuff, the weird rapey stuff with the guy, but now humans have literal slave planets on planets that are thrown in darkness and everything like that. Not only slave planets, but they will murder children in front. And there is literally a child murderer in this episode.
Don't forget torture.
And torture. And for what? What is that achieving apart from needless, crappy edge that you're not going to explore, not going to explore morally? All you're basically saying is, humans crap. And at that point, when I'm watching that, it's like, yeah, Flood and Covenant, just wipe them out. I'm not seeing many redeeming things here.
It wasn't break time, Shad. Okay? And so if you go off break when it's no break time, you get your skull beaten and you die.
It's like people...
China.
And I kind of get that why people might be jaded with the human condition, because right now, people and organizations and power structures and all that kind of suck, especially governments and everything like that. But it would be kind of nice that there was a side of sci-fi... There was a side of sci-fi that showed a somewhat hopeful view of humanity's future. That's what original Star Trek did that, not new Star Trek.
No.
New Star Trek is like just utter crap where the future is also crap and everything. There's nothing hopeful in, the new stuff coming out.
Yeah.
And part of Halo seemed like humans kind of they were a militaristic thing there, but they're working together to overcome differences and to save themselves, the human race, and destroy the aliens. Yeah. And there was none of this human slavery and...
Well, there was the backdrop of... It started off, they made the Spartans because humans, insurrectionists, were like basically Al-Qaeda inside different planets, right? They wanted independence for their planets, even though they were UNSC colonies. Anyway, and then... The Covenant showed up and practically settled the argument.
Yeah, and humans had to come together to fight a greater enemy.
Yeah.
This, you got the insurrectionists still around. You got Quan not even friggin' caring about the alien invasion and just like, I want to liberate my planet, you friggin' idiot. It's going to be glassed by the Covenant. But no, you go do that.
Yeah.
There is so much stupid in this show.
It's all stupid. Literally, there is nothing in it.
And needless... crap that just makes it give you a feeling. And like I said, and they're introducing this edgy kind of ethically questionable things, and they're not exploring it all. They're just throwing it in there because they think it's hey, let's do something sci-fi-ish, because doesn't sci-fi show questionable stuff? It's like, you do that to explore those concepts, not just throw it in our face to make us feel crap.
But and also there's no reason they have to explore those concepts. And also, these games are like, kids can play them, basically, for the most part. There's no, like, intense blood violence.
Yeah.
Like, there's no intense themes or intense ideas that they put forth. When I was a kid, I didn't understand it. I was like, oh, shooting guns, right? And now they're showing boobs, butts, of both genders.
Completely needlessly.
Yeah. People getting their brains melted inside their skulls, body parts flying off.
And it achieves nothing in the plot at all.
Nothing.
It's just needless edge because they think we want to be mature. Let's be Game of Thrones. It's like there's sometimes a justification for mature elements and themes, or if you're actually exploring a mature story. I did it in my own novel, all right? I fully get that. Even there's a mature application of nudity as well. But this is completely pointless. You don't need it at all, and they're throwing it in just to be. It's like they really want we're a mature show feeling, and it just makes them look pandering, desperate. It's sad.
But that's the thing. It's not mature at all, because a mature story would have nuance and ask interesting questions, not recycled crap we've seen from 50 different other things, and even then, you've stolen it and you do it badly.
So you were going to show us something interesting about the...
So skip until you see... you got the mouse, right? Mm-hmm. Just go... It's not the very beginning, but, like... Just go until you see him talking to the prophets. Round about here. Yeah. Back a bit.
Oh, I think I've seen a cutscene with this guy. Is he the black-looking elite? He's wearing black armor?
No.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta be careful with this crap, man, because... This is them talking to the
Noble prophets of truth and mercy, I have brought the incompetent.
You may leave, Tartarus.
But I thought...
And take your brutes with you.
Listen to how they talk to other members
Release
of
the
the
prisoner.
The council decided to have you hung by your entrails and your corpse paraded through the city. But ultimately, the terms of your execution are up to me.
I am already dead.
Indeed. Do you know where we are?
The mausoleum of the Arbiter.
Quite so. Here rests the vanguard of the great journey. Every Arbiter from first to last.
What use am I? I can no longer command ships, lead troops into battle.
Not as you are, no. But become the Arbiter. And you shall be set loose against this heresy with our blessing.
They have so much more authority and weight. Like, you listen, you do what you friggin' we say, if not, we'll hang you by your entrails.
Yeah.
The tasks you must undertake as the Arbiter are perilous, suicidal. You will die, as each Arbiter has before you. The Council will have their corpse.
So he was the commander of the Common Forces in the first Halo game, and Chief won that, and so he's been disgraced for it. He literally got stripped naked in public, tortured, and branded with a mark of shame. And even then, he still gets on his knees to these people. Like, these guys are ultra honor.
Well, they're also ultra zealots. They believe it's, like, indisputably.
Yeah. And this line, I love it.
What would you have your Arbiter do?
That's Keith David.
So, just the weight and authority those prophets have.
Yeah.
And compare that to the show where they're basically
Groveling
groveling to a girl.
Their greatest enemy.
I get the feeling that in Halo, you rarely ever see them outside of that throne room.
Only in Halo 3 do you ever see them outside of the throne.
Yeah, right? And so in this show, you literally have them visiting a girl in her apartment while she changes.
Yes.
It's like, that destroys this image of authority in them, right?
Yeah, they would summon her.
Yes!
Yeah, they wouldn't go visit her.
And she would bow at their feet, and especially if she's a human, if she misspeaks, they'll just destroy her. But the fact that they wouldn't even let a human, in their presence.
They wouldn't let her stand in front of them with her back to them. That's how,
This show, man.
Anyway, should we go through scene by scene?
We will. So, other broad things, because I'm glad that we talked about the needless, edgy bullcrap, and it's a consistent thing. We're seeing it repeat consistently through the show now. So, next thing that I want to kind of talk about is overall more broad thoughts about Cortana, and this is the thing. She was probably the most enjoyable part of the show for me so far. Honestly, just because the voice is really charismatic, and
I love Jen Taylor's voice.
She is helpful, and you know.
But she looks ridiculous.
She does look ridiculous. I'm not saying she doesn't.
Yeah.
But personality-wise, I don't know enough about Cortana the games to be able to say correct or not, but the fact that she's ready to help and plucky and everything, she's the happiest character so far, and it easily makes her the most likable because everyone else is this moopy, like...
In the games, she's strong and stoic, right? So, like, oh man, you saw it at the beginning of the first...
I have a child crying outside.
Oh, good. Oh, okay. I can show you Cortana quickly.
Like, I've seen Cortana. I know.
No, I like her personality.
Okay.
As well as the humans, how they treat each other. Okay, go into the... It's in the separate tab. Cairo Station, yep. Just skip to you can see it. When they're... Oh, yeah, go back to as soon as you see them. Because that's actually really funny. This character, Johnson, is like the best character. Okay, that's perfect. This is Chief.
You told me there wouldn't be any cameras.
And you told me you were gonna wear something nice. Folks need heroes, Chief. Give them hope. So smile. But yeah, well, we still got something to smile about.
So this is after Halo 1. That just, say...
Already is a more charismatic and happy character than we saw in the entire show of anyone.
So that is an Arbiter. Like, look at the buildings as well. It's not organic,
And look, there's grunts.
Grunts,
Haven't seen those yet.
Love those little fellas.
Do you reckon grunts will even be in the show?
Oh. They teased them in this episode. That was sweet.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh.
Quite a crowd. If they came to hear me beg, they will be disappointed. Are you sure?
He's such a cool character. Like, and look at the uniforms, the setting, everything.
Yeah, very naval.
Gentlemen, we're lucky to have you back.
It is the Navy.
Go ahead, Cortana.
Another whisper, sir, near Io. We have probes en route.
I apologize, but we're going to have to make this quick.
You look nice.
Thank you.
She looks
Sergeant
so much
Major,
better.
The Colonial Cross is awarded for acts of singular daring and devotion. For a soldier of the United Earth Space Corps.
The fact they didn't put Johnson in this show is a crime.
Also, can we just say, look, we'll keep playing it. But the way they tell the story in Halo 2 is so much better than this TV show, because in the opening, in the contrast between the humans who have won and they're celebrating, and then to this new character who was lost and is in this dark place, like
Miranda. This is Miranda Keyes. She's a commander.
Commander Miranda Keyes, your father's actions were in keeping with the highest traditions of military service. His bravery in the face of impossible odds reflects great credit upon himself and the UNSC. The Navy has lost one of its best.
Is this cutscene made when Halo 2 was made?
Yeah, in 2015. Or 2014. It's a remaster.
Yeah, I was going to say, because this is a really good...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So it must be a remaster.
I just want this, man. I want more of this.
Slip space ruptures directly off our battle cluster.
See, she's no nonsense.
15 Covenant capital ships holding position just outside the kill zone.
This is Fleet Admiral Harper. We are engaging the enemy.
Negative, Admiral. Form a defensive perimeter around the cluster. Commander, get to your ship. Link up with the fleet.
Yes, sir.
You have the mech gun, Cortana. As soon as they come in range, open up.
Gladly.
Something's not right. The fleet that destroyed Reach was 50 times this size.
Sir, additional contacts. Boarding craft and lots of them.
They're going to try to take our mech guns offline. Give their capital ships a
Yeah, I know, but it's
shot
just
at Earth.
military battle conflict, right?
Yes, sir. I need a weapon.
Right this way.
Like, it's that simple. Chief, we need to do something. Hell yeah. I'm going to say something badass, and it's that simple. Oh, man. Like, it's honestly a...
Like, this show is not Halo at all.
It's not...
I got... The 3 episodes we've watched, we got none of a feeling like that. Nothing even
in fact,
close.
the exact opposite.
It's about discovering his feelings and having emotional conflict and all this other bullcrap and useless edginess.
If they wanted the emotional conflict, we have Arbiter.
Yeah. But back to what I was saying, like, I was able to enjoy Cortana's personality when she came online. I was like,
it's a new thing.
Look, I'm not saying it's true to Halo or anything like that, but that was one of the few little things, and this is the thing, right? I reckon people, a lot of normies, will love the Cortana.
Yeah, but that's because it's the whole bubbly schoolgirl attitude, you know? Like, that's a cheap... It's like... It's the reason I don't like The Last of Us that much, right? It's because they've given us the father-daughter dynamic, and obviously it's, you know, tearjerker. Like, I don't like cheap stuff like that. I want
if it's done well, I'm fine.
Look, if it's done well, and they...
I think my issue with Cortana was that although she had her attributes from the game, everyone else around her was unbearable.
Yeah.
And so her interactions were always like,
well, because the
Chief doesn't want to talk to her. Keys.
Yeah, Chief is constantly saying, "Get away! I didn't turn you on. What are you doing?"
He's talking like a child.
Yeah, and he's so, like, look at his expression. The Chief is like this. What are you doing? I'm constipated. My feelings. Look, it's the scar.
Like, that's how a child talks. Like, I told you to leave me alone.
Like. It's not Master Chief. Like I said, I won't even call him Master Chief now. He's random John now.
But yeah, like in the games, she does have vulnerability, but it's only when some serious. Imagine if you were locked in a room with Satan. It's that bad, and even then, when Chief shows up and rescues her, she bounces back. Like it, she is an incredible character.
Yeah, yeah. So, going back to thing. The interplay, the reaction and response that John has to Cortana is his, like, just... First of all, the fact that he's like, get away from me, why I didn't,
just hates her instantly.
Just hates her. That really didn't feel like, Halo, because he had a good relationship with Cortana from the start, from when you first interact with her. Then the implementation of Cortana, that she is inseparably fused into his brain, that's contrary as well, because in the game she was a really important AI that could be integrated into a ship, or he could take her with him and other things. So I have no idea what they're going to be doing.
And that was critical to the story, critical to all 3 games' story.
And pointless, irrelevant conflict that is so separate from the games. She will have the ability to override and take over his consciousness. They're actually showing now.
Also the technology, with the fact that she can appear anywhere in a room and speak to other people.
Yeah, where's the sound coming from?
Like, if you can use that in a war situation, what if you just, like, project soldiers on a battlefield?
Dude, you're right. You're absolutely right.
But
if you've got that tech, that's
really good.
Let's say that you could manipulate light somehow without having any sort of lens or any sort of actual light source. You could just make a hologram that everyone can see magically. Where's the sound coming from? From his ass? Like,
right. That's what I'm saying. If you can make light and sound anywhere in a space,
you're right. That's crazy technology. It's literally illusion tech that you could, like, wow. And he's the only one that,
apparently,
it needs to be an AI. No, you could separate the AI and just have the projection tech on every single soldier, and just to do a duplicate next to him, and so people
yeah, and not just that, right? But whenever you see Cortana in a human setting and she projects herself in a hologram, they literally have to have a massive pedestal, and she only shows up like that big.
Talking about the games.
The games, right? Yeah. When she's in a Forerunner setting, they use lots of holograms, so she can make herself big or whatever. And when she's in a Covenant thing, same thing, right? But the fact that she can just appear anywhere with nothing...
Yeah, she said there's some type of weird projector thing that they... implanted into him, so it doesn't seem to need a power source, it doesn't need his armor, he literally has her appearing when he's just wearing his clothes.
Or no clothes.
And everyone can see her and hear her.
Literally no clothes!
And she helped him stab himself, and she was looking down saying, alright, I can see it, so somehow she has cameras where she's looking as well.
I'm just so dumb.
This is written by retards. There's an remember the Flash animations from back in the day? There was a Flash animation, and it was hilarious. Go check it out. It was called Halo for Retards. This is Halo for Retards. This is Halo for Retards.
Alright, so those are my broad thoughts. Anyone else have it before we go into a scene-by-scene discussion?
I'll dive right into it.
It felt very boring and like there was a moment where I stopped paying attention, and I was like, if I was watching this at home, or if this wasn't our job, would I pay any attention to this show? And I was like, no, I wouldn't.
It's gotten to the point where I'm getting lots of enjoyment out of watching through mocking it with you guys.
Yeah.
Like, literally, when he goes outside to connect with his feelings. That was hilarious because we were just riffing on it constantly. Maybe whoever's editing, give us a cut of some of those riffs because they were funny, man. Like, your dog is awakening feelings in me. It's so beautiful. That's his expression. It's like, that look there. He was like, "Am I a furry?"
Ma'am.
That pellet's going back in.
Ma'am, is your dog single?
When he sees the dog and he's like, "Oh." It's awakening feelings inside me.
Oh, man.
It's just a thing to be mocked now. And because it's so dumb on many levels.
Yeah. The broad thoughts. Okay, so overall, the plot makes no sense. It's been undermined at every turn.
Well,
makes literally no sense.
Let's just jump on that a bit. You're right, because at the moment it is a magical treasure hunt plot.
Yeah.
We found a magical item that only chosen one can touch with, and then conveniently, but I guess he's the chosen one, right? He has had connection with another magical thing in his past that now they need to go discover and find out. And in the process, he's going to discover the history of it. This is my prediction, but it's pretty damn obvious that they're going to do this. He's going to discover his past and have a big, conflict. What's that thing where you have to question yourself and everything, your whole life? Because he's going to find out that he was kidnapped and, put into the Spartan program against his will, and that they took away his memory and all that bullcrap, which is, none of that's Halo at all.
Yeah. They've shown comics where it shows how they kidnap the kids.
Yeah, so we know that, yes, they did kidnap.
They literally kidnap them, right? Take them to, like, a ship academy, like a space station, and like, okay, kids, they put them in a big auditorium. Catherine Halsey's there, she's got a projector. She's like, here's the history of human combat. We need you to be as good as the mythical Spartans of legend.
And they didn't wipe their memories.
They didn't.
They knew what happened, but it's interesting. Kids, you could probably get convinced this, but there's a logical argument to say, we need you to save the human race. And I think even kids is like, they'd be more willing to be on because they're more manipulatable.
And if not...
And even if they weren't, I think even adults would be human race at risk, kind of...
Well, not even that, man. Like, think about children. You can condition them into behaviour. It's a fact. You teach them things.
Which is why it's so important to teach them the correct things and correct behaviour.
Yeah.
Because if not, they turn into these nutcase millennials.
Yeah, like teach them...
Look, I'm not saying all millennials are, but there's a lot.
Yeah, like if you... And you don't really give them a choice because you're the adult and they're the child. So, if you teach them training regiment and how to handle weapons and how to exercise and how to do drills and navigate and kill things, you have made a soldier at a young age.
And by the way, like just basic things that children need to be taught that is vastly missing in so many adults is the benefit and quality of meritocracy, and that the things you deserve, the things that you can earn, and your feelings don't deserve to be protected you just need to learn to suck it up and be a mature person and things like that. And also kindness, forgiveness, all right? Those are important qualities as well.
Yeah. Well, train, just chuck on some Ben Shapiro.
Learn to get along with people who disagree with you and tolerate different opinions.
Oh, at this point, Shad.
That's a what is
and back to the conditioning kids and turning them into soldiers. We already have that in reality. It's called African child soldiers.
Yeah, and it's horrifying. But
you think they want to be soldiers?
Yeah, but it gets done, right? And so
it's not good.
I know we're not saying it's good, but that shows that this, like Master Chief of the games, he remembered his past, but he understands that there's a greater problem that he is ready to deal with and fight against. But in the show, no, they're going to have him question the past, question his role, question the whole war, and all that. That's where they're pointing towards. This is all just a person named John, character exploration in a really bad way, who will question he'll reconnect with his emotions because being stoic, that's toxic masculinity. We need an emotional hero.
That's why they made him a pussy.
Yeah, and
all right, so
overall score.
Dude, this is off. Like this, it doesn't deserve a score. To give this a number.
Look, because the thing, I did enjoy Cortana. The effects are very good quality overall in terms of the and the visual effects I'm talking about. There was some definitely janky ones, episode 1. So yeah, 2 still for me.
I can't give this a number. It could be, I could go negative 100. I could go negative 1,000, right? The number wouldn't matter. This is probably one of the worst things I've ever watched. This is worse than the new Matrix movie. This is worse than anything 343 has done to Halo, and they've done a lot. They've had 11 years of crap.
See, people who there is a sly trick that can be done without, and you don't need to be smart to do it, right? Because it's actually an effect comes out of not being aware enough. It's where you purposely make things confusing and present it like it makes sense to confuse the audience, to make them think that there's something deep happening here, and therefore, because it's beyond my understanding, it must be genius.
Yeah.
And no, it's beyond your understanding because it's utterly nonsensical and stupid. And that's, I feel, they're doing this in the show, and there are going to be people who will think that this is a really great character exploration about his emotions and his feelings and conflict, and there are some people who I reckon are going to be praising it immensely for the depth of emotional conflict this show is exploring.
Yeah. Abed in Community literally made that joke about that film trope, where he's going through a list of all the quintessential college experience things from the movies, and there's a point where he's doing something ridiculous with Troy, and all of a sudden he just has an outburst at Troy, and he's like, "Whoa, dude, I'm sorry." He's like, "No, it's on the list." Having a dramatic moment inserted into a nonsensical part of the story. Tick. And we got a lot of that.
It happens. Like, it's funny, the person that helped, like, pointed out this practice that, like, people adopt to, and it's the veneer of depth. It's the pretending to be intelligent in writing and stuff. Well, the person who revealed it was also Scott Card. He's a phenomenal writer, and it was in his review of Cloud Atlas, because there is these long, like, intellectual pseudo-intellectual monologues in Cloud Atlas that he just pointed out, if you actually broke down the meaning of what they're saying, it's utter bullcrap.
Yeah.
But it's so, like, confusing that it makes people think that because I can't understand it, it must be genius.
Yeah.
Sorry, what's your overall thoughts?
Oh, it was a 1.
1.
If I hadn't... I would start watching in episode 1. My brain hurts. I'm very tired from the show, because I'm trying to follow along and understand what these characters are doing. But each time I think I understand what's going on, I get more confused by the fact that what they just did doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Do you know why that's happening?
I have, like, viewer whiplash.
Do you know why that's happening, dude? It's because nothing that they do, any choice they make, there's nothing of any consequence or connection to anything they've done.
Well, that's the thing. The whole time with the timelines and people doing different stuff, they're kind of at the end of the episode like, oh, okay, he's going off to do stuff, she's back where she was, music's starting to play, oh, we're getting to the outro now, guys. Oh, it's going to get exciting. Credits roll. See you next episode.
And the evidence to show that the characters are doing nonsensical things that don't make sense is Quan's... Quan is, it's so irrelevant to the larger story that it's like, why are you even putting this in? But even in this self-contained story is utterly stupid, because literally, instead of wanting revenge against the aliens that wiped out her friends and family, she's just like, I want to liberate my home. And she's... The fact that aliens are invading and hell-bent on destroying humanity doesn't even register on her. I just want to slap her and just say, Will Smith, just like, pay attention, you idiot, right? It's just... And so, yeah, characters are doing things that...
Nonsensical. The dialogue as well is nonsensical. Like as in, when I say nonsensical, I mean they you know what a non sequitur is, right? It's when you say something that isn't connected to the next thing you say, but you think they are. It's like, dude, my favorite color is red, and that's why beans are brown. That's a non sequitur.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get to it, but when that lady's like, I don't look out that window.
Oh, that
because
was
when we
so
look
bad.
out there, we see stars, which are the old parts of space, and I choose to live in the present. That makes no sense! Dude, I'm comfortable with...
No, you are absolutely right.
I'm comfortable with the audience knowing this. I used to be a drug addict. I was getting high every single day for 2 years straight, okay? And even I made more sense than her. And she has space drugs.
Yeah, and so the show, right, at the moment, we have no idea if John is going off to try and find this artifact to discover his past or to save humanity. We don't know which actually he cares about. At the moment, it actually feels like it's to discover his past. They've completely forgot that there's a war going on. But he's like...
Funny. It's just, oh man, it's one side quest to the next with no connection.
Yeah, all losing sight of the major problem that's happening.
Yeah.
There's a friggin' alien invasion going on wanting to wipe out humanity.
Yeah. Also, they're forgetting the consequences of the thing they just did, right? So, okay, I have to get Quan away from the UNSC and away from the rebels, right? Let's take her to this planet. She's okay that you're staying here, great. Okay, because if she goes anywhere else, she will die. So we've learned this. Mr. Black Spartan Man, Soren, that's his name. Even though in the books he's Aryan, basically. Mr. Black Spartan Man, could you please keep her? Please, I'm begging you, don't let her die. I care about her so much. She's my comfort woman.
Which, one, it seems like why he wants Quan to be safe should just be out of a sense of duty. But
yeah.
Anyway, it isn't like this is his daughter. But the Black Spartan guy, he goes, I give you my word.
I give you my word.
And in the next episode, he threatens to crush her skull.
Yes. And then finds out that he might be able to make money off her one way or the other, whether she lives or dies. So, and either way, she'll be going into a war zone, and she's a 16-year-old girl.
She's not a little girl, though. She's not little.
So... I wish if they were willing to have a bit of edgy humor and actually have some fun lines and everything like that. When she says, "I'm a little girl," best response from the black guy should have been, "You're a girl, and you're little. Do the math. You're Asian. You should be good at that." And he just walked off.
Man. And then, if he wants to go full Dave Chappelle, because he kind of looks like him, he could be like, "You're going to pilot this ship? I thought you people were bad at flying." There you go. Let's have some more racism. Like, we're having chicken tonight. No rice, though. There you go. Let's keep going further. Well, what else can we do? Oh, there's so many.
I just love how chickens show up, and the first thing one says is, "Oh, that's a stereotype right there."
Yeah, because the chicken's literally framed the black guy's head. And he's like, "Ooh, finger looking good." He sits up and he's like, "Did someone say KFC?" And I responded, "I don't care." Oh.
We make fun of ourselves as being Australians, being Mormons all the time, all right?
And white
You just got to... You laugh at yourself and you laugh at stereotypes because sometimes there is a vein of truth in it and sometimes there's no truth in it, but it's funny, okay? So, those are our overall thoughts of the episode. Let's go chronologically now because there's other things... As we go through, there's things we observe.
So, endless night planet that's full of trash, and the main export is child slavery of separating plastics from metals, and they say it on the thing. That's what we get from this 5-minute intro.
Don't we have modern day technology?
Yeah, isn't there modern technology that can separate?
Yeah,
we can project AI, but we can't separate metal from plastic.
This seems like a very inefficient, recycling system.
Because you have to keep the humans fed. You have to give them some form of quality of life.
Well, they obviously don't.
Well, they don't. Yeah, they'll beat you to death if you're on break before it's your turn.
Also, there's a romance between these two.
Yeah.
There's a really long holding, just about to kiss, and I felt very uncomfortable as a viewer
like
watching these two kids.
Two young kids getting all romantic and just like...
That Texas and Florida bill can't come soon enough.
Like, kids at that age, sometimes they have little romantic things, but they might sneak a kiss on the cheek and run off giggling at the most, but they hold hands or anything like that. But this seemed a little too intimate for my kind.
And typically, you put that in a kid's movie, not a movie where people are getting their brains evaporated, needles going through eyes, getting shot, asses hanging out everywhere.
And then they're just like, here's some kids kissing.
Yeah.
Shows you what they like to watch.
Yeah, it's just like Disney.
I have a feeling that they loved Cuties, the people who made this.
Surprised it's not actually Netflix. Alright, so, and reading the story that she still has with her.
It's all backstory to an annoying, contradictory, irrelevant character that should have no place in this story because she invalidates the entire religion of the Covenant. And
by that, the entire story.
And it was obvious that this was her backstory because they're like, they're wanting us to make us care about this insufferable, annoying character. And it's not going to work. All it did was make me, like, get annoyed with the show, because the show's trying to be needlessly edgy, because they literally have a child murder on screen here.
Yeah, and then a torture.
It's like, yes! And all this scene did was make me think, alright, Covenant, you can go wipe him out now.
Also, these guards, right? They're guarding probably several thousand people. Like, you know, it's probably 1 to 100 per guard. And they decide to just invest so much time.
There would be so many implications if they actually were wanting to do this honestly about a full-on slave class in this society and stuff. That, like, sets up big ramifications, like evil empire and slave class thing. You know, how are they feeling? Do they want to liberate themselves? All the, like, stuff. I can't understand the separatists now.
Yeah, because this is what you'd get with a separatist planet.
And, like, so the Covenant, how long ago was this as well? Was the Covenant was around
probably
at
like
this time?
10 years ago, yeah.
And
yeah, so they would have been around.
Yeah, because the war's been going on for 10 years.
There's two elites that are just walking through, and I'm wondering...
Yeah, sure, they knock one away, but where are the guns?
Exactly.
Where's the defenses?
This would be insane. It's like, we've got friggin' Covenant on the planet. You might want to respond.
Only 2?
Yeah.
Again, if they typically, like, they find a world, and if humans in this world can detect life signs, signals, everything from a planet, the Covenant vastly out-tech them. Vastly, right? The Covenant can very easily tell if a planet has people on it from orbit. And if they find that out, they're calling home...
And nuking it.
Well, like, it's literally just a beam that turns whatever it hits into glass. It melts it all into a...
Like I said.
Yeah. And so they would kill every single human being.
Yeah. And they're looking for a chosen one, which is technically...
Well, they're using the Luminary. It doesn't look like that, but they're using it to try and find Forerunner technology, because that's what they're looking for in the books. They worship technology that's from the Forerunners. And in Contact Harvest, they find a human planet for the first time, wherever they ever meet humans, and every single time they turn it on, whether it's one human or 1,000 in a room, every single time it says... that many amount of humans there in front of, that is Forerunner tech. And so because of that, they're like, wipe them all out. We can't have this.
So, big contradiction on the game lore as well. Because they really want to set up the Chosen One thing. Because now John is the Chosen One, who is not Master Chief. And this girl is
she's a blessed one. Oh, man. Anyway, so yeah, chase some kids around, beat them to death. You know, there was probably like a pair of like, older slaves like watching that, be like, the system works. I don't see anything. You know, rebellion? No, they don't seem to have guns. They got little taser things. We could probably overpower them and, at least like rip their arms off with our bare hands and, eat the rich, whatever. But no, this system's fine. Ridiculous. Yeah. Covenant show up.
It was so over the top, needlessly edgy, all to try and justify this character's hatred of humans, really, that they're trying to say. And the character, what annoys me is the character is unneeded, shouldn't even be in the show, right? And so any attempt to justify it just annoys me. And even then, you don't need to go to such crazy bullcrap edginess, which is going to mess up the lore and, very social structure of this setting, right? To justify her Stockholm syndrome and... delusion.
And also they're trying to paint the Covenant in a positive light.
Exactly. Well, it seems like that. Like, the Covenant are saving a slave and everything. Would have been much more efficient if they literally, she's in a happy family thing, and the Covenant comes in, finds her, blows apart her parents, but then as soon as they grab her, she sits down, and the whole brainwashing thing happening, and they literally program her brain to think humans bad.
But even then, they would not keep her around.
I know. This is even if you were willing to contradict the fundamental law of this, Covenant society,
and because
there's better ways that you could do it.
Yeah, and because they've contradicted that. Okay, so let me break it down one last time quickly, right? So the Bungie one is every human's a reclaimer, and that's why you've got to wipe out the whole species. Yeah. The 343 retcon and fan fiction is only a select few. Now, even though it is only a select few, it's the fact that the Forerunners, who are a separate species, chose humans as their replacements, right?
Yeah.
And that's why they're killing humans, because the Forerunners chose them instead of us, right? So even then, they'd still kill every human!
Yep.
Also, in this scene, when they're scanning, and they're like, it's behind her, and they stop and go, no, it is her. What if they were wrong?
Yeah, it's a trash pile.
What if they, move her away, it's behind her, but no, they just like, that's her, they take her... What if they were wrong?
Might want to confirm it.
It's like the stuff's like hot. All right, come here, child. Cold.
It wasn't.
Oh man, it's like, oh, it's the book.
Like, all it takes is just a quick scene of like him moving her aside and then it going away and then...
Yeah.
So, what I said before about the thing, right? I think they're going to change the Covenant's motivation. Because neither of them make sense now.
Yeah.
They don't. They contradict this thing, right? So what I think they're going to do is the Covenant made first contact and like, hey, do you want to join us? Because they do with other species. And then it's going to be like, kill the aliens! They're aliens! They're different from me!
Humans attacked them when they tried to...
They're
humans started the war.
Yep, and you watch, it'll be a white guy pressing the button. Because, no, I'm not kidding, man, and this might need to be cut. Every single person doing bad things is a white person. All the guards there, and I watched it on a screen with lights turned off, I could see better, all white. Name a single black character who's made a... what's the word? Malicious decision.
What about the military guy who's the father of the black science girl who gave the order to...
He didn't give the order.
But he was on their side to have
Well,
her
no,
executed.
he came and told her.
That she needed to be executed?
He came and said, it's going to be an Article 72.
So...
Order just came through.
Not fully evil, but...
Why would he go and tell her?
Yeah, but kind of, but still, there is definitely a trend. Like, look at Batman, the Batman, right?
The Batman.
Where there is a greater reluctance, and by the way, this is like almost a standard in Hollywood. Like, if they're casting things, you can actually see there are quotes from casting directors saying, no, we can't cast a black person in a negative light and stuff like that. It's actually far more prevalent and is a standard in Hollywood, and we're seeing it reflected in shows.
Yeah, it reminds me of... so Apple doesn't allow movies to have villains using their phones. If anyone is using an Apple technology, they can't be villains. It's part of the contract they have. And now it's the same thing with race. Because they discovered it in Knives Out, people are using Apple products, they're all good guys. And so it's this shit story. The bad guy using Android. And so now we can tell in shows when they aren't villains now because of diversity.
It's so pathetic. I can't believe it. They're so transparent.
It's a white guy, he could be a villain. Is he using Android?
Either a villain or weak or...
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so they take her, even though she invalidates the whole religion, you have a apartment...
Oh yeah, they're in her apartment watching her change.
Dude,
that dress looks great on you.
Imagine them coming in and being like, hey girl!
It destroys the authority and the weight that these beings have.
Yeah.
Like...
They're literally the kings of a galactic-wide conglomeration of alien species with the most advanced technology and power to build entire world-sized battle stations.
And now it looks like they're simping after a girl slave.
They literally are! And she looks like a Twitch thought!
I think that's an insult to Twitch thoughts. Just...
Well, I mean...
Look, I'm just saying.
She's not ugly. She's quite pretty.
Not really.
I mean, in the fact that she looks like Portia de Rossi doesn't concern me, but she's got a nice bahonkadonk. Like, I couldn't help that I saw it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a man, dude.
The last episode, she was just... That's how she gets undressed.
That's how we all do it.
You know, have you seen a movie called The Jerk?
No.
Who's the guy from Cheap by the Dozen? Do you know that guy?
White
hair, you know?
Yeah. I almost had his name. He was father of the bride. Martin Freeman? Sheen? I don't know. Something.
Not Martin Sheen.
No.
Yeah, anyway. Chris Martin? No, Christopher Martin? No?
I don't know, but...
Anyway, we know who he is,
He was a
right?
classic, we don't see him often, but he was in a lot of films.
There's a movie called The Jerk where he's this white kid who's, as a baby, is adopted by a poor black family. Mm-hmm. And they come to him when he's like in his 30s, like he's grown up with him his whole life. And it's like, look, son, you're adopted. And he's like, so I'm going to stay this colour forever? I'm just thinking, right, she's like, wait a minute, am I human? She said humans are ugly? Like, oh man, how deep does the Stockholm Syndrome go? But then I guess, if she chooses to identify as a Covenant,
Kind of makes her a Covenant, doesn't it?
Yeah. Do you reckon she identifies as these wrinkly old bastards?
Probably.
Or an elite or something?
Like, she even said, I forgot how ugly humans are.
Yeah.
That's a line from her.
If she sees herself as, look at how many fingers they have, or an elite, who they're basically missing, is she going to cut her finger off to resemble that more?
Like if she wants to, it's her body, her choice.
Yeah, I guess. Alright. We are not making any sort of connection with anything else, we promise you. Anyway, Master Chief, Mopey as always. Yeah. Oh, hey, this foreshadowing! Because we see him naked! But this guy's obviously more fit than the actual actor. Oh, wait, and look. You see what I see?
Cortana?
Yeah. Why is it... It's inside his skull. Why would there be an access port?
I don't know.
And,
They probably have like a downloadable feature that they could take out the juice they injected into him and put it into another computer.
For some reason, they have made Reach full of Masonic symbols when it doesn't look like that.
It looks like Stargate Atlantis.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I said too. But like all the hexagons and anyway, that's deep stuff. Only true fans will understand. Also, right, this part she specifically said it's organic, but it's somehow technological. Mm-hmm. That thing, organic?
I was expecting there must be some type of goo inside.
Yeah, also, right, this thing, it's incredible. It's shaped like a Dorito. We have no idea what it does apart from cause our super soldier to skits the out. But it's incredible. Look at it.
Yeah.
It might as well be made of Play-Doh because we have no idea what its function is, but the Macguffin is beautiful. and I'm skipping a bit ahead, but then they're like, from Master Chief's visions, he described a thing that fits into this other thing. Look at how...
Yeah, I know. I was wondering, how'd they get that much detail? Like, it was like when he said the planet had trees. Well, I have 400 references that describe the fauna. There's like, he just said trees. He didn't say trees of a certain colour, of a certain height, of this description.
Cortana says she's great at searching. You search trees in Google, you get 500 billion results, not 150.
And that's what I was saying. Is like... They're trying to justify some very specific extrapolation from extremely vague, like, beginning points, where he said, this is what Master Chief described as, like, all we saw was a really bad drawing from a kid. And I'm thinking, you got that 3D image design from a drawing that, like, he saw in a flashback, a drawing from a kid made? Okay.
Yeah. And also just the fact that they're swooning over this technology, and they have no idea what it does, and they're treating it so... Like, it might as well just be a giant, like... Forerunner art installation.
Yeah, well, it could be a bomb.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine they put the piece together. Boom!
Yeah, I know. Like, they've taken it to their planet, like a center of, the military strategy, and they're just poking it with a stick, basically.
It would be funny if they put the thing on, and then they hear, like, a flush sound. So just a Forerunner toilet or something. Completely inconsequential.
Like, touch it, it's like, well, there you go. I wasn't expecting a sex toy, but...
Oh, man. And that's the thing, when he's drawing this, like...
Well, they're aliens! We don't know what they would look like! I'm just saying!
Dude, what if it's a flashlight? Look, it's got a hole in it.
And she's touching... she's touching it!
Like, what is this? Well, it's actually a toilet seat. You just turn it sideways and it goes there. There's a hole in it, I'm just saying.
Oh, man.
It's like, I put my mouth on that!
I needed to know what the sample was. It seems to be some ancient dirt. What is that? I taste corn. Anyway. The fact they just have no idea what it is.
I know, and they've taken it to their main base.
This device seems to be emitting a constant, deadly stream of radiation. If you've been exposed for more than 5 seconds, you have cancer. Just like the show. Then Parangoski, who we don't really know anything about other than she's bossy.
And this always gives me wannabe Expanse vibes, because there's a great Indian character who's like this strong... Like, if you want an example of actually a great modern strong female character, I forget it, I have trouble with Amadasala or Avadasala, but that's... Her name is like that. And she's this brilliant, really smart, aggressive character. She becomes a world leader and all that stuff. And she is tough as nails, yet she has this distinct kind of vulnerability. They don't make her too butch. And she's always wearing these amazing outfits. And my wife just like, I was always commenting, that's such a stunning outfit, right? And so she is distinctly feminine, but she is tough as nails. What a great character. This character, whoever... Nothing on
is
her.
A nothing character.
Yeah.
But the Indian lady in The Expanse, is she the same one that does one of the voices in Arcane?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Her voice and the way she talks is butter. I want her to read me a bedtime story.
But see, the character in The Expanse, when she gets angry, she'll swear, and when she does it, because she's got such a nice voice, it's like a truck. She's like, I don't care if you do it.
Just loved her voice. Anyway, and Miranda is nothing like completely different character. Just make a new character. Why not that?
Yeah, mostly irrelevant. All she is like random military girl who thinks she's smart and important and like let me do stuff. And we don't see her actually do anything. She was examining, but nothing's actually achieved. She's just there so far.
She examined the Forerunner glory hole. Yes. Oh man. And then we have this creep who's bad white guy with the classic haircut.
Like makes them very nerdy.
Yep. She needs to test her Cortana clone. So build my Mac for me clone. Also, right, think about this for a second. She thought, and she says, when I thought about cloning myself, it was in case I needed spare organs, because she has the memories from when she started the cloning procedure. And now she's finding out that it's for Cortana, right? But the fact that she's like, oh, I'm a clone of you, I know what you think, okay? You plan to harvest my flesh and kill me.
Well, see, not even that. They're going to destroy her flesh. They're just harvesting her brain, but it's not actually a brain. It's like they're copying her cognitive pattern. It really feels like in this episode they literally murder this intelligent being.
Yeah.
Like clone. Doesn't matter if it's a clone. If they are a self-aware, intelligent entity with their own, it escaped me now, but agency, exactly, right? That's a legitimate individual.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not her though. She's okay with being murdered.
Yeah.
What would you do in that situation? You find you have just cloned yourself, right?
If I was a clone and I knew that they were going to kill me, you might start to rebel. There was a whole movie about it called The Island.
Great movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Michael Bay.
You know, if you're a clone and you're aware of yourself, you probably would have all the desires for life as a regular person would.
Yeah, because it's literally you. Do you have desire for life?
It would be different if they portrayed this like it was a brainless, just flesh potato that they grew just to harvest organs that has no self-awareness. Then you might be able to have a discussion that, the treatment of this body of meat, doesn't...
This is going to be cut.
That's awful. That is getting cut.
Okay.
That is totally getting cut.
But if you woke up and found that you were a clone and you found you were going to get murdered, you would freak out.
Yeah. And look, you could try and justify that they could have emotional inhibitors on her, or brainwashing.
That would make sense.
But they don't explain any of that. You're right. Instead, it just shows like this is murder, basically. So, makes me think that, humans in this show are great. I want them to beat the Covenant, don't I?
Also, they need her to be alive while they liquefy her brain.
Yeah, it's awful.
Awake. No, you actually have a more vast, so when we're turned on and awake and conscious, our brains are using the same amount of, stuff as when we're asleep, but we're focusing certain parts to focus on things, right? When you're asleep, everything's a little bit active. It would make more sense, because think about it. They start melting her brain. First they put the thing in her eye, right?
It's all weird.
The terror center of your brain would be on fire, right? Then pain.
Yeah, it's all weird, it's all creepy, it's all gives you an ick feeling. And have they shown humans, in terms of the leaders or the groups of people doing noble, good, self-sacrificing things? We've seen slavery, we've seen torture, we've seen brutality, we've seen division. There was a guy just executing people in the last episode.
There was one thing. In the first or second episode, when they found out, the Covenant wiped out 150 rebels on Madrigal. They're like, that makes the fuel cheaper. That's good. That's what they said. Yeah, that's their one. You know what? Shame it can't be said for Joe Biden or the rest of the world's leaders in our present day.
But yeah, this is making me love the people and humans depicted in this show.
Yeah.
I really care about them surviving this alien invasion.
Really rooting for them.
Yeah. Like, even in the flashback, we find out the dad, is just abusing the young John, who is like, I don't want to do this, you have to do it. So, here's another abusive jerk dad, because... That's why one of the reasons I loved Arcane so much, where they had a father figure who was truly noble and self-sacrificing and loving.
And even then, when they had the bad father figure, he still was...
He still loved the child deeply. Arcane is great. Not this trash. Not this Halo fake fic.
If I woke up as a clone and I knew I was going to be murdered, that's my expression right there.
It's like, what?
Holy crap. Yeah. Yeah. Creepy looks. Just sitting there, like, look at how big...
It's so, like...
He looks like a child up there.
Yeah, it's so emasculating for the strength that Master Chief had. Now, look, he's stripped from his armor, he's wearing a whole hospital nightie, sitting on a table, listening to Grown-Up Doctor.
Yeah. But as perspective goes, look at that perspective. They've chosen that for a reason. If you wanted to make him look like a big guy, you'd put the camera above and behind him, and she would come into frame and be small. Like... It's a child!
Yeah, like even have it from the torso up showing his muscular form standing there and her coming in the background much smaller and stuff.
What kind of character are you trying to project? Yeah. Alright, she sits up, look at the face. His face doesn't change at all. Look at it!
You're right, every single frame is just stone face. No, not stone face, because stone face implies strength. It's mopey. Mopey, saggy, bleh.
Yeah. He looks like a blobfish from the deep sea. Look at the nose on him.
And look, he could be a great actor or a great person outside of this. This is all a commentary on their depiction of this is not Master Chief. It is...
John Bernthal would have been better if they're going to show his face. Alright, yep.
Torture, death of...
before the torture, there's a little bit of
workplace... rapiness.
Yeah. They thank you, Dr. Weinstein. Then she comes in and he cock blocks him. Let's just casually liquefy your brain. Look at that.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Like, if they just put it into that chip, and that's the chip.
And I was okay with that.
It's like magical goop juice.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, how does that contain a really complex AI?
Good question, Chad.
They didn't have that option at Boost Juice. But, like, that looks literally identical to the chip. That is the chip that Cortana's in. With the ring and the little things coming off that. That is exactly it. Oh, man.
But it's made through juice.
Yeah.
Brain juice that they just drop it on the capsule.
I wonder
right now, we're in magic. This is not like a realistic extrapolation of possible technology. It's just magic. It's just bullcrap, whatever we're going to do to make it seem like this is deep sci-fi crap. But it's not.
And he's upgradable too with Cortana. Like, you can upgrade Cortana. So does he have to come in for annual boosters for Cortana? It's a better software protection.
It's likely. It's very likely.
Alright, and she
just something also, they had like a full body disintegration bath right there in their hospital.
Yeah.
I would never freaking go to that hospital. It's like, we can dispose of the body instantly. I would just press a button on the very same bed that you're lying on when you're getting your operation. It's like, I'm not getting on that! And it's like, what a morbidly awful thing to have in their hospital on the main surgery bed. It's like, look, usually we have like body disposal crematories like at a different part of the building, further away. But no, it's right here, so we can just acid bath anyone at an instant for your convenience.
Yeah. Also, right, I'm not a who does the puts you to sleep when you're a doctor to do surgery?
Is it anesthesia?
Anesthesiast. I'm not an anesthesiologist, right? But I'm pretty sure that if you give someone an anesthetic to like paralyze them, and then you melt their brain. I don't think the anesthetic will work that well. In fact, I think as their brain melts, they'll start spasming like they were a ragdoll in Half-Life, okay? And then fall off the bloody, oh man. Could you imagine if they're lowering her into the vat of acid that's open at the top, by the way? She just flips off and just spills it everywhere, melts through all the doctors and stuff.
So, I want to have a bit of a discussion quickly about how they decided to pick Cortana, because I don't understand their thought process here. They are going out of their way to try and show themselves to be mature, edgy, all right? They inject pointless nudity as well, for no reason. It doesn't serve the plot or anything. And so all of the mature crap that they're trying to inject, it really feels like to make it feel gross to the audience.
It does feel gross.
It does
to the
feel
audience.
gross. We see eyes getting pierced, children getting
Teenagers
beaten to
getting
death,
ripped apart.
all this crap. It's horrible stuff. And then at the times when they had an opportunity to throw in some type, not full like maturity, right? But Cortana, when she was depicted, she basically was wearing a skin suit or something like that. Okay?
Yeah. Until 343 took over, then they made her very voluptuous.
Very voluptuous,
very
everything.
round at the waist and thick
And
hips.
they could have done that as well to make something visually far more enjoyable, right? And they've shown that they have no qualms about doing things that are a little bit more mature.
Yeah.
Yet in the areas in which many, audiences might actually enjoy, like, they decide, no, we're not going to do any type of mature things. Now, I don't like over-sexualization and stuff like that. I'm just saying it's interesting because it fits into a trend that we're seeing very often in which anything that traditional audiences enjoy, we will take that away.
Destroy it.
And we will put things in front of you which we know you won't like, but we think, you need to see, or we want to be edgy and all that crap.
Me and Nathan talked about this in Nightly News.
Yeah.
And this is a historical thing. This is well documented. Communist propaganda is designed to be as embarrassing to you just to view it as possible. Mm-hmm. Because once they have you viewing the propaganda, you can think that's what? Like, you can think it's complete lies. But because the society has been like, you follow that, you believe that, or we'll destroy you. If you can get them to do that and just project the lie, they can make you culpable and take part in any atrocity they want. Mm-hmm. And they do it by embarrassing and degrading you with their propaganda.
Yeah. And if it's just interesting that it falls into this trend that there's this, they're against traditional, beauty standards or the knockouts, levels of beauty that many young guys like to enjoy and stuff like that. It just goes into that same trend. Now, honestly, though, if I was doing something like this, I don't think it makes sense that a digital AI would look, like she's naked, basically. And so that outfit, makes more sense logically, but I don't get the impression that they chose that outfit for a logical, actual, true, mature sense, because they've shown that they want stupid edginess throughout the show. And so if they have no qualms about it, it's obvious the only reason why they've chosen to change Cortana's appearance is because they don't want people to, enjoy what they've usually enjoyed.
Do you know how they depict, like Joe Staten, he wrote a lot of this, right? Mm-hmm. When he was in charge, do you know, in Contact Harvest, there's two AIs that you really, they do conversations. They're actual characters, right? Mm. One of the AIs is in charge. She's at the top of a orbital elevator. She sends off shipments from a planet that's an agricultural planet. They send food, right? She depicts herself as a Nordic goddess of the heavens, right? Because she's up in the clouds, right? I think it's close to Freya, right? Yeah. And the one who is the AI that's responsible for all of the farming depicts himself as a cowboy. And their personalities match. He's like, hey, darling. He projects himself. He talks with the kids like he's a cowboy. They all love him. Yeah. And she can't stand him because she's a Nordic princess, basically, right? And, oh, man. And they literally have, like, a love-hate relationship. It's beautiful, that book.
Is it? That's funny. It's
incredible. And for this...
But guess what? By what they've portrayed here, technically, there should be no possible other AIs in this entire show now, apparently, because of this is the process you need to get through to even get this AI right here.
She was just what made her special is that AIs are very fast. While we're having a conversation, they can have several million conversations. Mm-hmm. Right? There's a part in Contact Harvest where an AI, those two AIs, are talking while, like, they both collectively read all of Shakespeare's work in between, like, two different letters while humans talking to them. Yeah. Right? And communicating with humans. Like, they're very fast. What makes her special, she has that speed, but she has the reasoning skills and knowledge of the greatest mind that humanity produced. Mm-hmm. That's what makes her special. Yeah. So, bloody hell, man. Anyway, and also, they're meant to sound and look identical, except Cortana should be a bit younger. Yeah. So...
Well, they didn't pick the right actress, because...
Yeah, they didn't. Just use Jen Taylor. She's already a stage performer, and she's gorgeous. They look very similar. Mm-hmm. Oh, man. Yeah, back to...
That's like such a dumb way to transport through those asteroids.
Should we do it? I might want to do an experiment, right? I want to get a bunch of like balls of plaster or something, right? Have them all tied up to one central ball, and then have a bunch of other balls around them, and then I don't know, just like spin it round, and see what happens. Because it'll be a mess. It'll be like iPhone headphones. Like, what are they thinking? That's not structurally sound.
No, of course not. Like, they could have just literally transport through compressed air. So easy. Or compressed gas, so you don't have to waste oxygen even.
Yeah.
It's dumb on so many levels.
The space stations in the games look so much better. Like all human ships, they're literally a habitat built around a gun, you know?
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
Chickens.
Yeah. He's like, I want it for my taco. And he's like, we're frying that bitch. Oh man, I love Dave Chappelle. I know it's not him, he kind of looks similar. And you're like, but I want it for my fried rice. Bitch, you ain't even Chinese, you're Korean. You are comfort lady. Yeah, that one, deep one. Hey, that's you know ER on YouTube.
Yeah,
that's his joke. I took it from him. Oh man. Oh man. That Black Spartan's thinking like, lady, you so Pisces. What's your sign?
We gotta be careful.
Some of these are fine. The chicken one ain't, but the sign one is.
So cut what's too far.
Am I?
Because ER's video's already been taken down on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah.
His most recent one, was it?
Oh, I haven't watched it yet, but yeah, I saw it on Twitter that his video's been taken down. So it could have been for spicy jokes.
Am I the only one that's getting? That's probably for the footage. Am I the only one that's getting? What's her name? Is it Cho? Who is the Asian lady in Last Jedi?
Oh, Rose.
Rose, yeah, I'm getting Rose.
Don't kiss him against his consent.
You watch, he'll come out like for the rest of the series, he'll just be screaming, Cortana! Even though he's already married. Alright, staring at useless stuff on the wall. He, for some reason, hates Cortana.
You know, this fake non-Master Chief, who's not Master Chief, he doesn't wear. You don't see him in his helmet once. This whole episode.
Not in this episode.
Like, that's how far gone it is. Yep. Instead of just like it was an affront, just him taking off the helmet and having a scene with it. Now it's a whole episode of him no helmet. It's just
But again,
what a great way to make this feel like it's not Halo because it's not.
But again, that is still the least egregious thing they've done. Everything else, oh man.
But it's also funny to say that.
When you say least egregious, I think that having the helmet on is actually crucial to set the feeling that this is Halo.
Yeah.
Because it's so iconic. When you think Halo, you think Master Chief is helmet.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I know, I get that, right? But the fact is, like, Hollywood is probably going to do this, right? 9 times out of 10. And of the changes they've made to the theme, the story, the world, the characters, that is the least important.
Look, I agree. That could have been possible for them to make a TV series that really felt like Halo with having Master Chief and his helmet off. But I think that's even too far. I could just keep the helmet on.
Yeah, he should look and sound like Clint Eastwood. He's Clint Eastwood in a spacesuit.
It's just funny though, their excuse was, we need him to emote. We can't see his expressions if he's got his helmet on. But this whole episode is just...
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I can't even keep that straight face. It's really hard for me to...
Yeah, we talked about that in depth in episode 2 review about that you can emote with the helmet on.
Yeah.
I know you can, but just he's not even emoting in the show.
He's not even emoting. But sometimes he is. It's like, but it's always like, what do we do? Oh God, I'm touching it. Oh, my parents. Oh.
Can I demonstrate to you that they actually make him emote masterfully, completely covered? So Chief, Arbiter, and Johnson.
It's a Halo.
It's the Halo ring. That's the control.
We haven't seen that yet.
What's that scary sound?
Yank me, Chief.
See? Chip.
I'm not gonna lose her, too.
Because Miranda just died. This little robot guy, I love him.
Oh, hello. Wonderful news. The installation is almost complete.
Terrific.
Yes, isn't it? I have begun my simulations. No promises, but initial results indicate this facility should be ready to fire in just a few more days.
We don't have a few more days.
But a premature firing will destroy the Ark.
Deal with it.
To destroy this installation. Unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable! Protocol dictates action. I see now that helping you was wrong. You are a child by my papers. You are a forerunner. But this ring is mine.
Yeah, watch how he emotes. It's framed everything. Music.
I'm getting you out of here.
No, you're not. No, don't let her go. Don't ever let her go. Send me out. With a bang.
Do you see, man?
Yeah.
What are they doing? Like this is a compared, right? This isn't Shakespeare, right? But compared to the crap we're getting, this is a masterpiece, and the other thing is the exact opposite of a masterpiece. Maybe a master turd.
Steaming turd.
So, like, they've demonstrated. If they looked at the games, they would see that you can perfully convey emotion.
You can tell by the thumping of the shoulders and the lowering of the hair.
Yeah,
just
the slow movements,
subtle little things.
Just the deflation from his hand, the very slight. Man. Anyway, back to the show, literally. Anyway,
Not literal. Well,
literally.
if it's a metaphorical, yes, literal. It's literally a metaphorical crap show.
If I'm in the apocalypse and I find a copy of this on a disc right next to a turd of some animal, the turd is more valuable because I can use that for something. You know?
Yeah, fertilizer.
Yeah, fertilizer. This has no value except to piss me off. Oh man. So yeah, look.
To make these great reviews.
Oh yeah. I'm glad you guys are having fun watching me die inside. So an obvious trap.
Oh yeah. Oh wow. So. This is actually a big dum-dum moment in the episode, and I didn't talk about it in the broad things because it's a specific moment, but it really just shows how, I don't know, like short-sighted the writers are and things. And so they get a distress call. So first, a alien Covenant ship appears.
Out of slip space.
And they get a distress call from a human on that ship.
Yeah.
And that alone wouldn't create insane suspicion. Yeah, of course it would. I would be like, what the hell? We are not trusting this voice at all. It could have been a Covenant digital, recreation, anything. And then it's like, we were kept prisoners. It's like, do they even keep prisoners?
Not for long.
Like,
if they do, they torture them.
It's like, okay, so you would either be massively injured or everything, tortured if you were prisoners or everything like that. But the fact that, how the hell, if you were a prisoner, did you get to a comm system? Like, all this thing is just, like, everything in it is basically, you would never trust this person at all. And you would know it's a trap, it's a setup of some kind, yet bafflingly, astoundingly, they just open the doors and let her walk on.
Yeah. But also, she's talking to a captain over the radio, which is, by the way, they say this is a civilian radio. It can somehow reach through several dozen... Well, okay, so how many layers of metal do you think that is? Which is better quality, than
to have shielding on and everything, yeah.
Then the void of space, and then through the human ship with shields.
The void of space wouldn't restrict...
Well, sure,
radio
but like
waves.
distance, right?
Yeah.
Distance from source.
Well, actually, radio waves can travel really far in space because there's no atmosphere and other things.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay. And then she says, the elites left in life pods when the engines died, right? Now, if I'm a captain, I'm thinking, okay, wait a minute. Was that before, after, or during they entered slip space? It couldn't have been after because we didn't see them.
Yeah, and the engines seem to have been working in slip space.
Yeah.
So the engines haven't died.
Yeah. So they left in slip space and are now stuck there because to go through slip space, you need to know where you're going.
You're absolutely right. This is like the engines died after they literally saw the engines working. It's like, gee, I'm gonna believe you.
Yeah, it's called a destination solution. They talk about it in Halo 2 when Miranda blindly follows a Covenant ship. They're like, ma'am, without a destination solution, we don't know where we're going. Like, we don't know what to do when we get there. It even messes their ship up.
Wow, this is dumber than I thought.
If you leave slip space, you're trapped in there for eternity if you don't get out the other side. Oh, man. And so, yeah, the ship captain would know that. If Master Chief, a soldier who isn't meant to be a part of a ship, can know that, then...
Gosh.
Oh, man.
This is astoundingly dumb.
Now, you played the first mission of Halo, right?
Yeah.
You saw when he went up to the dude and said, Captain Keyes.
Yeah.
Now, who looks more like Captain Keyes in this show? That guy? Or the other guy?
I can't remember what he looked like in the game too well.
He's just
yeah.
like that, but with less pixels.
Yeah. Just, yeah.
Yeah, he's generic white guy with cool voice, and he's a captain. It's that simple. Yeah. This show is just when we need to just bring it back to the.
Let's touch the alien toilet seat again, not knowing what it's going to do, and cause flashbacks.
What if it's like an alien party drug?
It's like all it is they finally, I don't know, fired the agents. Like all it is giving me hallucinations. What it does? No, that's exactly what it is. It's just a flashback device.
It's organic in some way. Samples suggest it's made of pure LSD. But the aliens would touch it and be like, whoa, man. Oh, man. Yeah. It literally looks like a Dorito. And it's, testing it.
Yeah.
For some reason, the machine can tell when he's... Oh, what does it look like?
There's your scene.
That's the glory hole.
Master Chief right there.
That's a thumbnail.
Oh, yes, that is the thumbnail right there.
Oh, wait, well, here's the thing, right?
That with some, like, moaning, like, oh!
Think about the context of the scene. We don't know what Cortana does to keep him locked down. Maybe Cortana is giving him endless orgasms. Which, if that's the case, when do I sign up for my Cortana?
That puts another, way of having a digital waifu.
Dude, how does that look, man? There's Master Chief John 117, the greatest hope humanity has. Forerunner fleshlight. Oh, man. Cortana, I felt that.
I really is like, I've just been violated.
He's like, I think I love this machine.
I'm kind of coming around to Cortana, to be honest.
Does it come in golden retriever flavor? Oh, man. You see, when he saw the golden retriever, he naturally thought of Halsey. Yeah. Thing is, though, Halsey's an even bigger bitch. I got pages of this.
You can keep going.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so dumb. It's like they would not meet her in airlock to their ship. That means they docked with the other ship as well. It's like all the
no, they sent a life pod across, and the life pod came back. That's what this thing is here.
Oh, really? And they're all there? Even the captain?
I don't know.
No. So they sent a life pod. She got on a life pod, which took it back to the human ship.
And what? They don't have any recording device to see all the worms going on with it?
Yeah, if I was going to have a girl board my ship, I'd make sure she didn't have worms too.
It's pretty... I mean, literally, they let a girl, come aboard their ship with worms. It's not good.
Funny. Then she comes aboard, she's like, pee in this cup. Stay here. Well, that's that other planet.
And the other, you're right, what a missed opportunity to have the Halo gun, and he's just got a regular handgun.
Yeah. What is that? Is that a deagle?
I don't know, right? And then the fact that as soon as she says, tips her hand that she's got something nefarious, they all have guns trained on her, and they decide to shoot at... And look, granted, worms probably grab your attention, but you'd shoot her as well!
Yeah.
Like
if I
you know what I might think? It's like they're following her commands. What if she's controlling them? Let's take out that brain control thing and maybe disarm. Like she's the first target in my mind, and no one shoots her.
Oh look, this human betrayed us to aliens. Our weapons aren't doing much against the worms, but we can get some.
Yeah, there's a human there not wearing a.
Yeah.
It's so
anyway, and then it's. Sorry, it looks silly. It looks like a 12-year-old boy. It looks like Malfoy.
It does.
Oh man, look at that.
Yeah, you're right. It's like they don't want traditional femininity and.
Yeah. Also,
and that.
Go on.
We saw the worms, right?
Yeah.
And again, we already commented on like these worms are insanely deadly by themselves. No need for them to be in the armor now.
Yeah, and why make her to look like a badass when they can do this with any human being and then dispose of them?
Yeah, you had a great one where they just had a real human that they tortured and just begging for help, save me. They could have easily set up. But this whole thing, all of this is pointless because she doesn't achieve anything. Could have skipped it completely. But no, they want to try and establish her as being, we don't care about her. She's pointless.
It's really funny. If, I don't know, she gets captured, right? And then the prophets call the UNSC and like, hey, could you keep her? This bitch is really annoying.
She's getting in our face all the time. She's always taking her clothes off in front of us, which just makes us really uncomfortable. Just keep her, okay?
Oh, man, yeah. So entitled and invites herself to our meetings. Yeah, and then calls humans ugly, even though...
Oh, and she has a finger...
Oh, I forgot about that!
She's got a finger plasma. So why?
Okay, so if that's possible, there's no reason why you shouldn't have that on every single finger.
Well, I don't think you'd need it on every single finger, but you are right about practical application, and that means... Because I kind of got the impression that, for a plasma sword, you need a larger energy source, which necessitate a large handle and all these things. Now, you could fit them on your fingers. I don't know where the energy source is for this, unless there's a wire going down to it. I don't know, right? But it means, you could have energy knives, plasma knives, so many different applications of it, which we won't see because it's just... This is one of those dumb things where they think, this is going to be cool, let's do it because it's cool, and they don't think about the extrapolation and implications of what that means. That means smaller power sources, smaller plasma blades that you can get in. But no, they don't think about it because they just want it cool and they don't consider the larger implications.
Also, if she has the ability to conceal weapons underneath a fingernail that can cut through anything, and she decides to overtly attack the ship, leading to the cold protocol being activated, all traces of Earth's location wiped. All human knowledge wiped. Those worms, I'm 90% sure they can actually interface directly with technology.
Really?
So if she snuck aboard the ship with her weapons in her fingers, with two worms, they can eat metal, they could burrow themselves in and learn everything.
Well, you're right, we know she has worms, and so...
We didn't even need to see her Halo ring to find out. Oh, man. Oh, yeah.
Just... that outfit again that I mentioned, he looks like he's wearing an outfit from Mass Effect.
Yeah, he looks uncomfortable.
Just put N7 on the side and you got it right there.
Oh, look, they have a bloody mongoose, which is the smaller ATV. They got a warthog. They couldn't do anything,
Nothing cool with it. Just
Nothing
there.
cool.
Because nothing cool is happening. This is all a soap opera drama about my feelings. The only action was in the beginning of the first episode, and there's been spit for the rest of it. And they've wasted so much money on, seeing a stupid pod fly across asteroids. Yeah. So much friggin' money they wasted when they could have had cool action fighting.
Yep.
The show is so crap.
Yep, and dude, it's the bait and switch. It's like they did with Wheel of Time. Yeah, we'll give you the first episode that's relatively close to the source material.
Yeah, where it's fighting aliens and everything, and then nothing.
Now we've got you. Oh, you've subscribed? Okay, here's some to eat.
Yeah, here's some emotion. We need to, we'll make you consider your feelings, and we'll destroy your concept of traditional masculinity and all those things.
Yeah. You know, Land, the most stoic being since Zeus himself. Yeah, no, he's gonna twist his nipples and scream like a little girl at his friend's funeral.
Talk about Land from Wheel of Time. It was the greatest betrayal of a character in adaptation. That one hurts, Oz.
I know, dude, this hurts me too.
I know.
Also, there's no reason why they'd be doing bloody brain training for Spartans. They'd be doing physical training.
Yeah.
They'd be going over battle tech, like whatever, research for stuff sometimes maybe. The Black Spartan, he would do a better job at being Master Chief than Publisher Shriver would.
So, I will say, I honestly liked Cortana saying, just appearing, "Hi, I'm Cortana," like not caring about him, and again, that was a bit sassy. It felt like what something like Cortana would do, and
it felt naive to me though. She's like, "Hi, I'm Cortana."
No,
Cortana, go away. But I'm introducing myself to the crew.
There was a bit of naivety there, but honestly, I enjoyed the light-hearted aspect she was bringing to us. The only thing that I could kind of get, and look, I know it's contrary to how she should be and everything like that, but I will point out even things I was like, I got it, okay,
Yeah. But
I didn't like his reaction to it. It's like,
if it was in the games, she'd be talking through radio headsets. Like, she wouldn't project it. She doesn't need to. She always talk. You always hear her voice, always in the games, basically, Is that Boy George?
It's an unfortunate expression to freeze on.
No, man. It seems pretty deliberate. There's no mistakes in these things. Everything is purposefully chosen for a reason. Every frame.
Well, they could have made Cortana look far more feminine than what they have here.
Yeah. Yeah, this is not passing for Cortana, in my opinion. All right. Yep. Look at that credulous face. He looks like he's on the verge of tears at all times.
That's what you picture when you think Halo, don't you? That's exactly the image you have.
An emotionally confused man with schizophrenic outbursts who's attracted to dogs.
And this scene was just so dumb. It was like, space. I don't like looking because think back and pass and full graph.
Yeah, but, okay, so here's the thing, right? She goes from saying the dumbest thing ever to just repeating her, like, by the way, did you know that my family and planet were killed by the Covenant? Do you think she has some sort of brain condition? It's like 10-second Tom from 51st States. Hi, I'm Tom. Oh, man. Like, seriously, that makes her... What kind of writer sits there and thinks, that's a great line?
There's no proper through line to it, It's just...
You know what would have made more sense and also would have made it a sequitur instead of a non sequitur? I don't look out that window. Why? I see space, and it reminds me of the fact that aliens from space destroyed my planet and killed my family.
Or she could say, I have... She could, you could wrap it up in some way that she's suffering from a type of PTSD. It's like, I don't like looking out the window. Why? I just can't help but feel like I'll see them arrive,
Yeah, like what I just said.
But in a different way.
Yeah, I was being more literal, but fine. But just completely retarded. Also, how dare they use the Reclaimer symbol? See that symbol? It's upside down. That was on the monitor's light bulb shield thing. It's just ridiculous. Yeah. She even looks like a wine aunt.
Yeah, that's just like...
Ever heard that film before?
That looks out of place. Yeah.
She has the head proportions of a prophet.
It looks like a bit Hunger Games-ish.
Yeah.
Or the people from Earth on the Expanse. They were like,
Now, I've read some of Revelations and a bit of, what was it? What was the one we read when we were stranded in the Shadowlands? First Nephi 14?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Every time I see a woman wearing red in movies and I see other propaganda, immediately I'm thinking, okay. No, seriously, man, it's the end. It's the times. Oh, man. Okay, so she literally says, what does she say? She's like, she basically says, I'm dismissing you and you talking about your trauma about your planet being destroyed.
I can't remember.
She basically dismisses her and runs off. What was this?
It's like, I can help you with the search, and it's where he says it's a planet with trees. It's like, oh, that's really... She doesn't say it, but it's like, it's so specific, I can narrow it down to 100-something planets.
I think I'm going to edit that, because think about it, right? Look, we've got a screen there, and I can just cut Cortana's voice lines out, and just replace that with anything I want. I can do some really messed up there.
Alright, let's see what you can do.
Yeah, let's see what I can do. We'll have it at the end, guys.
I do want this out tonight, if possible.
Dude, I have insomnia. I'll be able to finish this tonight. So he's begrudgingly being assisted. Like, look at this man. Begrudgingly assisted on the space computer, like Shad with Nathan next to him. I made it full screen, Oz, look! Cortana pulled up some feet.
I was doing that in sarcasm and in jest, and now you're bringing it up like I was earnest and you're teasing me for
Shad,
it.
I don't
Completely out of context.
I don't get defensive when you make these jokes. Just saying.
But I don't use your sarcastic comments and then present them as if you said them in earnest.
Okay, Shad. We'll go with that then. You're the boss. If you pay me, I'll believe it. But hey, look, it looks like he's just Cortana's brought up some feet pics.
If I pay you, you'll do anything, will you? You whore.
Chief, I'm not that kind of robot. But dude, look at this guy.
Yeah, that got weird, I'm sorry.
That's fine, man. I'm used to it. Alright. Yeah, so what are they doing here? What are they doing here? Oh yeah, that's right. It's Master Chief shows off his master cheeks. Oh man.
So unnecessary. I don't know why. It's like, we're mature, we're edgy. It's like, yes, you didn't need this. And again, it's like...
Well, you said it during
What
this
is she
episode.
look? She's looking at something very intently.
She found the one muscle in their bodies they didn't augment. And then
Like, oh, it's so small.
oh, I think it's cute. And he's like, plenty guys are like that size. Like, no, Chief, I didn't mean it like that. Oh man.
At this point, it's riding yourself.
The oven's really tight. It's cold in here. Oh man.
He's just embarrassed now. He's shy.
It's so giving.
Fine, I'm going away.
Dude, okay. You know how people inject, like, their own allegory and experience into story? This is a subconscious replaying of the writer's events in their life. This is his first girlfriend in high school.
It really is. It's like when you like skip every, you only read every 10th word in a hidden text that has its own separate story. It's like that.
Oh, man. That's perfect. That's literally perfect. Oh, man.
Oh, my cheeks.
Wait, this pill makes it bigger? Oh, man. Yeah, discovering his feelings.
Yes, like, this was just a stare. Like, it was like, he's literally discovering his feelings.
It's literally like someone with, what's it called? What does Abed have again?
Or a type of Abed, I would say it has Asperger's.
Asperger's, yeah. There's medication for that.
No, there's not.
There isn't?
No.
Oh. Well,
Asperger's is a low-level autism.
Oh, did I ever tell you? One time my mum called me up in the, 7 o'clock in the morning, woke me up, she's like, "Hi, honey. You think you might have Asperger's?" Good morning to you too, Mum. Yeah, okay, at least we get to see
That's a cool ship.
It's a cool ship. Yeah, again, all human structures are meant to look utilitarian. You know, if they're military, they're meant to have a big gun right in the center.
And he's never been on a train before. And she was like, "I'll help you out." You just go down, you step on it.
Google Maps.
Like as an infantile child. And look,
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not outside of the realms of possibility that he hasn't had many regular human experiences, but was that the purpose of Halo? Let's grab this warrior thing, like a Spartan soldier, and see him experience normal life as Master Chief going to dinner in a restaurant. And this is him walking a dog, and this is him getting aroused by the dog.
You know what? I actually kind of want to see Master Chief in his full armor.
Full armor.
Like, imagine him at a restaurant.
And he goes to a pool and he's in his arms.
No. He's completely naked. He's still wearing his helmet. Oh man. Oh, what could have been? Look at him.
This is the supposed Halo show. Master Chief doing normal things, going on a train,
Catches the train.
watching people kiss.
He's trying to break down his anxieties about social situations.
Gosh,
You know, he's thinking, there's too many people here.
this is exactly what Halo fans wanted, isn't it?
Oh, look at him lost like a
I
puppy.
know. And then he literally hears a violin play.
Yeah.
And then he gets attracted to a dog. Yeah.
Oh, love at first sight.
Oh, it's like, what's this?
You won't judge its size. The only thing you care about is the peanut butter. Your hair reminds me of a girl I knew. Can you do a British accent? I bet you like it doggy style. I'll give you a bone. Oh man. Hey, look, the guy, he's been cooped up, he wants to chase some tail. Oh man. You see, I'm glad it's this, like,
I know.
we find...
At least we can find joy in
Yeah,
this.
yeah. Oh man. Mom, open the door! Oh, dude. Like, okay, let's talk about this here, right? So, Master Chief Petty Officer, that's one of the highest non-commissioned ranks that you can be, right? You're literally called Master, meaning the master, Chief, meaning the boss, right? And his prints don't get him into wherever the hell he's trying to go.
He just committed mutiny, so that's why they're justified.
Yeah, he's still allowed to walk around. And then he has to ask Cortana for permission, and then Cortana has to ask Halsey for permission. What the...
Yeah, and then he wants this flashback, and then his dad ends up being a jerk because, of course, right? And that's the design that they extrapolate that big, like, 3D rendered model from.
Yeah.
That a kid's drawing.
Son, are you drawing turds again? Looks like it.
It looks like...
Oh, man. Look at Cortana. Just saying.
She pities him. And he's so depressed.
What did you remember, Chief? I used to be really shit at drawing. They said my drawings were good. Mother lied. Oh, man.
Oh, that's if you go back. That's what Chris Rock saw coming at him.
Oh man. Yeah, so somehow...
3D rendering.
Got the armor back on.
And at this point, right, I literally had this reaction watching it. I don't want to see him in the armor. He's so far removed from what Halo is, from what Master Chief is. It's like an insult seeing this character, John, in Master Chief's armor.
Yeah,
he doesn't belong.
And also, he doesn't belong in the sense that he's still in the base on Reach. Why is he wearing his armor?
Well, I reckon it would have been better if he always wore his armor throughout the whole... Like, he only takes off his armor for necessity. He should... Like, I feel it would be so much more in character that he feels, hey, the Covenant might even attack right now.
Yeah.
I need to be ready at all times, and only in the most extreme situations where, I don't know, will I take it off, you know?
Yeah, bloody Soren, who's trying to escape the UNSC and stay away from them and not be identified and taken by them, is wearing his armor at all times. Oh, man. Look, he's a puppy dog.
Yeah.
No wonder he wants to... Yeah. Yeah, okay, so he's just going through Pinterest. Thanks.
This is like, my parents live there?
Yeah.
Oh, that means, what happened to them? Plague.
Wait, that's not his parents there. Bloody diversity, man. Like, we can see it makes no sense. And oh, man, the way he talks to her is like, no, you don't understand. I have memories from this thing.
Memories! My family!
Yeah.
And artifact, there's an artifact.
There's another artifact buried somewhere on a planet I can't identify, in a place I have no idea where it is. In fact, all of the records of this place have been scrubbed. Trust me.
Yep, and did you have the prediction while we were watching, or did you mention it when we...
Oh yeah, we were watching, yeah.
Yeah, like, Nathan picked out that the plague that wiped him out most likely...
Was it Oz? One of us.
I said I think it might be the flood.
Yeah.
If they introduce them that way.
I reckon it will be. And the flood, do they come across the flood that early? Like...
They literally find the flood is on the Halo ring, buried in the Halo ring.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, they kept it for study and sample, and yeah.
Because the flood will destroy everything. And so if it's already out on a planet, that means it's out. And like, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, because then it can fly ships then, can't it?
Well, yeah, like, again, once a flood spore gets a infection form, it's like this big, kind of like a face hugger. It has little barbed tendrils that jump into you, right? and it takes over your nervous system while you're alive and forces you, if you're lucky, to break your own neck with your own arms. If not, it'll keep you alive, contort your body to fit whatever form it wants, and then you will go and kill whoever's next. And after that, once they have enough bodies massed, they put them all together and build what's called a grave mind, which is a flood's consciousness. It's a single being. The flood is a single entity, right? And if it finds your memories are important, it keeps you. You literally are in a hive mind of hell.
Oh.
It literally says, come, join my chorus and sing Victory Everlasting. Like, that shit's terrifying, man.
Yeah.
Like it happens to Captain Keyes.
This show doesn't deserve such cool icon, and they're not going to do it justice. They're not going to reflect it accurately. But even just like this show doesn't even deserve the right to use Master Chief's helmet and depiction right now. It's such an atrocity.
Like, I told you a while back, right? We only have words are only metaphors, right? We can never 100%. And that's why it annoys me that that's a fact, because I can't possibly with enough words explain how far divorced and how bad this is. I can't.
And there is a stronger, more nefarious undertone, and it is that there are ends, goals to subvert traditional values, and also and the original Halo had some really good messages, depiction of great, strong hero character and everything like that. And they want to subvert all of that, and this is just another sign of them trying to destroy goodness, basically.
Yeah. They want to destroy virtue.
I mean, because literally, look at this show is full of just like unsettling, creepy, questionable morality crap. They want to throw that in your face. There has been nothing truly noble, self-sacrificing, uplifting in anything I was saying.
Anything. The closest we see is the Covenant, and they're slaughtering civilians. Like, oh, this human is important to...
And we'll save a slave.
Yeah, and not only that, but this young girl who doesn't really know anything, who's been a slave collecting trash her whole life, we're going to promote her to the highest possible position without being a prophet. And even then, they seem to be subservient to her. Hey, let's take this literal trash queen and make her the queen of our space empire.
And they're coming for all the good things. They did it with Wheel of Time had such a profoundly beautiful message about men and women needing to work together, and they twisted that on its head in the show to make it so diversive and everything. And so, same with this. Sorry, when I said diverse, I mean divisive. And now the Halo, and they're going to do it for Lord of the Rings. All the great, they want to go after the great pinnacles of our heroes, myths, and legends, and they want to destroy them.
Yeah, you remember me saying they will destroy everything we love, because that is their goal.
Well, if you can destroy the myths and legends and narratives that help uplift and make people better, guess what you might be after next?
Yeah. That again, who controls the stories controls the times. So
there's a reason why they're attacking culture, because guess what's downstream of culture?
Yep.
Politics.
Yep. Well, if we have a culture, which we do, all humans have a culture, right? Culture frames our lives, the way we think, the values we have.
Yeah, exactly.
And once you destroy that, you've destroyed a people.
Because think about it, right? If they can destroy all the narratives of self-sacrificing masculine heroism and supportive but also strong feminism, like true femininity and stuff, and if they can destroy that, well, are you going to have many strong men in your society as a result who haven't been taught and imprinted these? Like, it happened to me growing up. He-Man, Superman had such a powerful impact on me to be a better person, okay? And so that was literally like informative and forming thing of my personality to make me a better person that I got from cartoons and stuff. I had myths and heroes to want to aspire to and be like, which made me a better person. If they destroy that, well, you'll have weaker men and you'll have more docile people to try and manipulate and just... It's a broad-scale kind of subversive thing that's happening in the world.
And about destroying culture, right? I talked about it in our Wheel of Time book discussion. There's race, right? Skin tone and stuff like that. But it's the culture that makes someone diverse, right? That's my opinion, at least, because that's where, like, going through common denominators, you have two human beings, right? But the difference is one chooses to live this way, or not chooses, but lives this way, has this set of beliefs and these ideas and these wants and values and everything. And there's a difference. That's the diversity, right? the original Halo games, the reason the Forerunners, humans, built these massive, beautiful weapons and then it killed everything in the galaxy that was capable of thought,
including themselves,
sacrificed themselves, and then restarted everything, is because the Flood is able to take control of your body and mind and mutate you into that one being. It's literally about mutating you out from your,
into a singular belief system.
Yes, they literally say in Halo, the Forerunners wanted to preserve galactic biodiversity. And so they wiped it clean. And that was their sacrifice, and their sacrifice was eternal. Those words. Is that not Christian?
It's got deep themes to it. It really does.
Bloody hell, man. And look at this crappy ship, which looks like a bunch of Lego glued together with spider webs. That's somehow FTL capable. Even though the very first FTL ships looked basically identical to the ones that they have now.
Like, they would need a lot of resources to have an FTL capable ship.
It's the single most expensive thing developed by man.
And then, the black discount Dave Chappelle character comes in and is like, money, sure, I'll betray what I said to my best friend for money, and if it still falls through, I'll just sell you for the bounty.
To be fair, before that, he makes some other comments. He says, "You're trying to steal my favorite ship. You can't stop me, you 8-foot-tall super soldier wearing strength manipulating armor. Yeah, you can't stop me. I could crush your head." Oh.
And look, I won't discount the fact that the what's his name?
Soren.
I won't discount the fact that Soren could have been lying to Master Chief, where it's like, yeah, I'll
I give him 5 minutes.
And,
I'll look after her for 5 minutes.
And so he could have just a bit of a more morally darker character. That's possible, but it still makes him a crap person.
Yeah,
where are the heroes here?
And I'm
waiting to see heroes.
That doesn't suit with the way they framed him when they introduced him.
Yeah, he was all about a freedom fighter and
family man. Yeah, forgiving chief.
You're right. Yeah, it's very contrary to.
Yeah, and she can, for some reason.
So go back to that other screen. It's like, I'm wondering where the feminine beauty is. They really don't want the female characters to look feminine at all. They're going out of their way to make them look more masculine. Look at the haircuts, right?
Yeah. And also, there's no indication she knows anything about technology. Why is she messing around with a ship that's in... Anyway. Yep.
I kind of like his jacket, how she's got this jacket around his armor.
Wearing,
look, I can enjoy a jacket.
It's not. That's Destiny, man.
Yeah,
Destiny.
It is. Yeah, you're right. It is
Destiny. Like, he'd be a cool Destiny character. Oh man,
I hate her haircut. It's just awful. Like,
everyone on that planet had the same crappy haircut, except the dudes. Oh, even the dudes actually.
It's a boy's haircut.
It's.
And even then, it's not a good.
And even then, you're right. And then
shaved sides, mullet, and then just
very, very next screenshot, right? And look again, another boy's haircut.
Yep.
It's like.
You'd see that haircut in Mad Max, right? You'd see that haircut in the green room of Ellen DeGeneres' studio.
Yeah.
Portia de Rossi. But yeah, so like, what is that thing we keep saying? They keep masculinizing the women, and demasculizing the men,
and feminizing the men.
Yeah. So, oh, these crazy conspiracy theories that the pattern keeps repeating.
I know. Well, like, if it was a conspiracy theory, why are we seeing evidence of it again and again and again and again and again and again and again?
Yeah, and not only that.
Freaking hell. Like, look at the He-Man Revelations, right? They turn him into this weak character and then they butch up Teela to the 10th degree. It's just everywhere.
And also, any sacrifice that the man does make is like, oh, you lied to me.
I know, like...
I died for you, and I have to live with it.
I know. He-Man kills himself to save everyone, yet Teela is the victim, because she had to live with it.
Well, you don't understand. White men don't understand what it's like to be under attack. Even if they're running into the jaws of hellfire on a beach, getting slaughtered in their thousands. Do you know how many people died in Omaha Beach? On that one beach in that one day?
But they're the privileged ones in all human history, Oz.
Tell you what, they're privileged because they didn't live to see this shit. If I could,
they're weeping from the afterlife, Oz. Yep. And honestly, I think a lot of them wouldn't want to live in our times for how just insane it is.
Dude, I want to go back. I want to embrace tradition.
Like, sometimes I think I was like, gee, Part of me feels it would have been nice to grow up in the 50s.
Yeah, because that's the thing, man. Like,
Wholesome
sure.
family values. I'm not saying it wasn't perfect, but
look, okay, the things that we have that are conveniences to us have harmed us. They actively
they
have.
really have. Like, I sometimes start to feel that social media might be the killer of civilizations. You know how we look to the stars and we wonder where all these civilizations are, because Earth is actually not in terms of its when Earth was created. It kind of happened very far after the birth of the universe, and so there's been trillions of years in which other life, could form and things. And it's like, okay, if there's opportunity for life to be spread across the galaxy, where are they? And I sometimes wonder, they probably all just killed themselves when they invented social media.
What's it called again? The Great Filter. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
What do you call it? I heard a good argument. We're going places. I heard a good argument for creationism. God sits outside of time. He is eternal. He is what's the word? He is a totality.
Yes.
Right. He doesn't need to base his acts of creation on any time frame.
No, of course
he only does it for our understanding, and that's what he tells us. So he could have. Sure, he says, "I made the heavens, the waters, the earth." But he could have made them in any order he wanted.
Whenever he wanted.
So, but I like to think that from the end forwards. Anyway.
But also, it's very arrogant to think that we were the first ones of his creations or children's that he decided to form on a planet.
I mean, he started over once before. Let's just say he didn't do it before that.
I think he's had many planets. Yeah.
All right, and then they're picking up. Okay, this is stupid, right? This is just bad storytelling because they've done this so many times. So she goes there, and it's almost inconsequential, except for the fact that I know because I saw in the trailer. She's talking to an elite, and she says, the elite says, "We will find the sacred ring." Right? In the trailer, you see the Spartan lady who's in that room say "sacred ring," Halo, when looking at that screen there.
Really? Yeah.
So, and they haven't put that. They've completely divorced it from any consequence in the episode. So this episode has gone on. She's got onto a ship for no reason. There's no consequence to her doing that. She's back to square one.
Yeah. Like I said, they could cut that entire thing and actually move the plot forward instead of us having useless filler crap.
Yeah.
And the most annoying thing is they think that they're doing something cool by showing her how badass she is, everything like that, but they actually harm the overall story through contradictions, conveniences, and because now they introduce those worm things, and those worm things are going to be, there's no point for them being in the armor now. And so that whole scene is just actively harming your continuity, your consistency, and it was useless to begin with. You didn't need it.
Yeah, and also, they don't. Chief went and talked to Black Smeagol, right?
Yep.
And Black Smeagol said, he somehow knows this, that thing is going to point to the Halo rings. And the Halo rings are a weapon, and the Covenant want that weapon. And then he went back home. Did he not tell anyone this?
You might have been useful information.
Although, to be fair, Halsey, I talked to a meth addict in a cage, and he said that this is going to lead to a magical ring, and then he told me the plot of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I think that's pretty much the episode.
We're getting there. Because then there was they're basically building up, we're going on a quest for artifacts. We are the Fellowship leaving to Mount Doom, and it's like I said, treasure hunt quest now.
Yeah. And
find the thing.
Here's the thing, though. The treasure has no inherent value because they don't know what it does.
It'll point the way.
But they don't know that. There's no indication that Chief said.
But John, is his name John now? Yeah.
What, Master Chief?
Yeah.
That is his name.
So John, because he's not Master Chief, I'm just calling him random.
I call him Master Cheeks.
Master Chief, or Halo Fake Fic.
Yeah.
He believes is going to point to the ring, and this is a fairly large bit of advanced technology. Are you telling me that they needed something so big just to make a map? It's they could have. If this is just some really elaborate map, what a friggin' joke.
I'm sticking with it's a glory hole.
A toilet seat makes more sense.
Yeah, because it kind of is shaped like
It
that.
is, just turn it sideways. And,
It's pretty uncomfortable to sit on, though.
and all the technology there is actually like it evaporates or converts the poo into fertilizer or something like that. And it'll hover. It's like that. It's not a toilet. It is the toilet. It is the whole thing, and that's the technology. You turn it on the side, it hovers there for you, you sit on, and it converts the waste into usable products.
That's why the prophets want it. Because they have floating chairs, but
You're
they
right.
don't have floating toilets.
You are right. Yes.
Prophet of Truth wants his
Yep.
floating toilet.
Floating toilet.
They're old.
That is the Macguffin now. They are after the floating
Dude,
toilets.
could you imagine if this technology existed in real life? We would have something to protect Joe Biden from his incontinence.
He walks around with his big thing sticking out.
Just floating like Yoda. Oh, man. So, I don't know what they're freaking out. It's completely inconsequential to anything. Oh, wait, yeah, I remember. Wait, you're telling me there's 2 sets of people working on this problem?
It's like the shadow group, whatever thing.
Yeah, it's called...
Pointless. They're trying to inject conflict to try and make it interesting to keep the viewer engaged. It's like, we don't care.
There's a term called compartmentalization. Mm-hmm. The 2 biggest authorities that use this technique for disseminating information is the military and the glowies in the alphabet agencies, right? Because you only are told if you need to know, because information is sensitive. You're dealing with alien tech that isn't even Covenant. Where the hell did it come from?
They don't even know if it's a bomb yet or not. Like, they're treating this thing like it's... Anyway.
Yeah, just put it in a museum, let everyone have a pet, you know?
Like, just get people walk through, touch it, and see what happens.
Yeah, find out if you're a reclaimer, have a trip and have your repressed childhood memories come up about your uncle.
One person said, it played the entire series of Lord of the Rings for me. Really? I got pregnant from it. It does it. It could do anything.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's the Macguffin. Come touch the Macguffin. Come on down, touch the Macguffin. It'll guess your weight. It'll blow your penis off. It'll do anything. Anything the story demands. Bloody hell. Oh, yeah, and... dude, there's a second part to the Macguffin.
I know, right?
Oh.
And remember, they got that detail from his drawing.
Oh, man.
All those specific little angles and indents and everything,
Yeah.
all of that extrapolated
And they're
from
like,
the drawing.
It's incredible. We have no idea what it does. It's incredible. You know what this is probably, what that thing probably is? Charging station for the poop destroyer.
To justify the size of this technology and the fact it needs to be inserted, like one could be a power source or anything, maybe if it was a teleporter to the Halo ring.
Yeah, but it's not.
They won't do it. But that's something that could be logically justified.
Okay, if that thing is called the...
But the thing is,
they call it the key.
why would they be buried on 2 separate planets? And boy, is it so convenient that he just has a vision to the very other half of the artifact that slots into perfectly.
Yeah.
But he's a chosen one, so that's why. He has visions.
Yeah, why didn't the Covenant take it? And also, right, so here's an idea. They called that thing, the small triangle, the keystone. So obviously whatever that thing is a lock. But also, look at it. Turn your head a bit. What does it look like? The other way. The side on the right should be the top of it. What does that look like to you?
Arrowhead?
Maybe I just have really messed up pattern recognition.
Oh.
Nathan sees it.
Oh, okay.
No, you're recently married, so... To me that looks like a vagina.
Nah.
No, that's what I see. I see a vagina. I see the...
you're unmarried. You
and
probably
there's the
see
there's the keystone in the center. The keystone that unlocks special things.
You probably see it everywhere you look. You're unmarried.
Yeah, I look at you when I see a twat. You walked right into that
I did. Well played.
Don't test me. All right, and then this.
Just the build-up. We're on a quest and we don't friggin' care. This whole episode was just him discovering his feelings. They could have gotten to this point just at the beginning of this episode. He's like, he touches it and is like, I saw something. I think it's on a planet and it's another part to this. All right, we need to go find it. Let's go. I would be more engaged, and they could have, like, episode 2, episode 3, all this useless crap.
Like, they could have had him touch it and then...
Well, sorry. Yeah, like episode 1, right? Yeah, episode 2, they get back to where episode 1 ended, and so they can cut most of what episode 2.
Yeah.
And they can, again, yeah.
It's just the same thing over and over.
And where's the action? Where's the Halo fighting the Covenant? Where's the
No.
people fighting the Covenant in this? It's just, this isn't Halo.
Shoot at a girl's worms.
First, it was all about touchy-feel, like him going off, getting, discovering his feelings, and that was most of episode 2, and episode 3 was basically all that. And now it's a magical quest-finding thing. There's been no fighting the Covenant in this.
Well, they have to find the Halo to save the world.
Like, Halo was was an engaging military action story of the army fighting aliens and finding ways and discovering ancient artifacts in the process of the fighting, and then keeping the artifacts out of the hands of the aliens. It's all action-packed. This is crap.
Well, like, Halo has many different story. Like, when you're with the humans, there is the militaristic feel, right? Mm-hmm. When you're with the Covenant, there is the religious zealotry feel, right? Mm-hmm. And when you're with the humans in a Forerunner setting, it's sense of discovery, fantasy, magic, right? And when it's the other way around, it's reverence, and there's key themes and emotions that are set up in the games depending on whose character you're following and where they are. And they
we
don't
haven't
have
got
anything.
we haven't got a single one.
So far, it's more 343's same plot line that everyone is awful. No, there's no heroic sacrifice from our ancient forefathers who were so close to divinity, they sacrificed everything they had. No, they were awful. They tortured and experimented on humans. They failed to save themselves as well as kill everyone else. No, everyone's awful. Everything's awful, and you should feel bad.
Well, that's this show doesn't, the crap that they throw in front of your face is just like, this doesn't make me feel good. Like, seeing children get murdered, seeing people get murdered and body disintegrated in acid after being tortured and crap.
Seeing a man who's like a grown man sexually attracted to a golden retriever.
Yeah, I was just digging things out of his back to get his emotions, and then
he's digging into his back to feel something. Oh man, that montage must just skip in the scenes. Anyway, let's end that.
It skipped to the end. There's nothing else, and then just
they're going.
This is all like we're all going away on their trip, and then we see, the Covenant girl.
Last thing. This is the last complaint. While this montage is happening, Halsey's having a monologue where the other scientist dude, the scientist on the left there, asked her, are you sure? I'm pretty sure he asked this. Are you sure that we can trust Master Chief's visions? How do we know he's not just imagined it all? And she says, in stressful situations, it's often hard to know what's real and what the mind is imagining. I'm not kidding. We can take it back and listen to it. And then she's like, it's often hard to tell, but sometimes we have to go there to see for ourselves whether it's real or imagined. What the hell does that mean? You've said Master Chief is clearly under stressful situations emotionally, and a guy asked you, is it real or fake? And you've said, in a stressful situation, it could be either.
You're right, it could be fake, but we're going to go and devote all these resources to find out.
Yeah, and even then, he's not going to know, because if it's imagined, it'll still be imagined for it. What the... Whoever wrote this is a retard, and it should be illegal for him to write things.
Look, I feel bad because they could be really nice people, right?
No, they're not.
Well, there certainly seems to be agendas on display of a nefarious nature. I will agree, absolutely there. So, I'm trying to give some benefit of the doubt.
You know what else one of the writers of this worked on? And by the way, it took 2 writers to think up this genius plot. One of the writers was responsible for Netflix Death Note, which was great. And what was the other... Oh, man.
Well, didn't they do an episode... Oh, no, I don't know. I thought they might have done an episode of Star Trek Discovery or something.
Yeah, there's a bunch of that too, which sucks as well.
Yeah, it does suck.
Joe Staten's a great writer. He wrote the books, he wrote most of the games. Bring him in for this.
But he probably has wholesome views about, heroism and...
Because he wrote the originals.
And myths and legends and all that stuff. And no, we don't want heroes anymore.
No, we want... We already know. We see it all.
Yeah. And we'll skip until we get the...
monologue.
Yeah.
And they've ripped... You see that planet horizon there? They have ripped that straight from Halo Reach. The art is identical to that. They've ripped it. And even then, look at how undefined it is. They didn't even...
Oh, look. We finally see the helmet. And he's not even wearing it. And then
Cortana walks off.
and what was the note they ended on? Is like something about the reason why Cortana was made was in case.
Yeah,
he
it's
goes crazy.
if he goes there and finds the truth about his past, we're screwed.
That's
And she's like,
right.
that's why Cortana's here.
So that's the setup where he's going to have this big emotional confrontation where he will discover the past, and like there's no subtlety in it. They basically just told you, but they're so desperate to keep the audience like ready. There's going to be a big thing, and then Cortana's like, and yeah, that's what Halo is, isn't it, guys? Master Chief having a identity crisis and being overcome with Cortana. But what will actually happen is that he'll have an identity crisis, but Cortana will be on his side by that time, and she won't overcome him, and she'll betray her programming and Halsey, and it's just bullcrap conflict.
Also, another thing, that douchebag, creepy scientist dude, he's probably going to die in the next episode, or in fear betray the rest of the team, something like that.
Good call, I agree. So there's a good prediction for the next episode, and the prediction of last episode that they're going to reintroduce the Asian girl into the main plot.
And I said she might take a ship.
Was through, yeah, you said take a ship, meeting the Covenant girl, and they're going to the exact same planet. That's confirmed.
Even though it makes no sense.
So friggin' predictable.
Why go to the place you know that it won't be?
And it's predictable because it's lazy, bad writing. If I was writing this and just thinking of, if I wanted the easiest, cheapest way to resolve certain plot threads that are there, this is what a lazy writer would do.
Yep.
And guess what? That's what they're doing.
So, final note, please keep doing this, unironically. The more they do this to us with things that we enjoy, the more we can immunize ourselves to their writing, their opinions, to everything that they say and do to attack
Not
us.
even the immunization thing. I think that the value in it is that it will reveal their hand. It will be a face-off moment for people who are unaware that this subversive, nefarious crap is going on in culture.
And so when we're aware of their subversive tactics, we won't be susceptible to them.
Well, also, hopefully, we won't give them the money, okay? And
dude, no. Again, ESG, it doesn't matter. This could have made no money from
the thing is, no. There is important, because if we don't give money to people who make this, we can give it that same money.
No, you don't
The
understand.
average consumer can give
No, it's
money.
not about consumers. You don't understand, Chad. The banking system doesn't work that way. It doesn't matter. They will get their money from elsewhere.
I'm not saying it won't stop them. What I'm saying, it will support new people making good, wholesome stuff.
Sure, that'll work.
Yeah, so
even then,
instead of giving your money to Disney, which is supporting child grooming and crap like that,
and child slavery.
Yeah, they can actually give money to new creators, new writers, and everything like that, who are upholding good, virtuous heroism ideals and stuff in media, and they will prosper. And even if I think Disney will still be sticking around because they get propped up in other things, it doesn't mean they'll be the only ones, and we can have we can build towards a good, strong culture.
Yeah, but...
Like, seriously, guys, if you want a good story, there are good writers out there. Check out Brandon Sanderson. You can check out my novel as well. There is stuff being made that is got traditional values in it still. So... Check out Arcane, okay? Great show. Check out Person of Interest, as we mentioned it previously. That's a brilliant show. Expanse, if you want awesome sci-fi, right? Watch Expanse, okay? But Expanse is on Amazon Prime. Anyway, so...
Can I leave you with one last terrifying question? This is the final thing I'll say for the episode. If this and the past 6 or 7 years have been their tactics for when they have power and we have little, what do you think will happen when we start to gain power? What tactics do you think they'll implement then?
Oh, well, we'll see, won't we?
Yep. What
So-
commies usually do.
There you go. This has been our review of Halo Fake Fic, because calling it a fan fiction is an insult to fan fiction, and I'm glad people mentioned that in the comments last. I agree. I totally agree. Fan fiction is actually made by oftentimes fans who do love the original properties in most cases. This is people who despise original properties. They despise the myths, the heroism, the wholesome ideals that they were promoting and supporting and stuff like that. They want to inject their own propaganda, their own agendas into it, and so this is not Halo. It's fake fic.
It's Galo. Yeah.
Well, there's a larger conversation.
It's spelled Gaylow.
There's an interesting conversation to be had about the attack on even just, the fact that some people are straight and they're happy to be straight. It's like, no. If you don't appreciate certain other ways of sexual
Just be a bit gay.
expression,
Suck the cock, bigot.
you're a bigot. Anyway, so Halo Fake Fic episode 3. Thank you for watching, guys. And until next time, stay on watch. As always, no, not until next time. As always, I don't know.
As always, until next time.
As always, stay watchful.